This is the Buzz Adams Morning Show podcast. Barstool Talk Daily. Except it's really early in the morning and no booze. For the most part.
Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Morning time is so early, but you gotta get out of bed. Brush your teeth till they're white and pearly, comb the hair that's on your head. Morning time is so early, a cup of coffee perks you up, and then if you're still feeling tired, pour yourself a second cup. This is my chorus, hope it doesn't bore us. If it does, then just ignore us. This is my chorus, hope it doesn't bore us. This ends my chorus, this ends my chorus.
Broadcast ready. Activate now.
The morning show that's live and local.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Here's your host, Buzz Adams, on 95.5 KLAQ.
All right, thank you so much. Good morning and welcome to the show, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. It is Thursday. And for the next few hours, we're going to... Listen, I've got what I consider to be some really, really interesting topics today.
You do, yeah.
The spunkin spice latte is, the pumpkin spice latte is back. I'm sorry. Available at Starbucks starting today.
All right. Pumpkin, damn it, I was going to do pumpkin spice season is back.
Spunkin pies.
Spunkin pies.
The earliest that it has been brought out. So starting today, you could get your spunkin pice lattes. We'll talk about that a little bit. Billy Joel has responded to a conspiracy theory about one of his songs.
No.
It's called the Piano Man Was at a Gay Bar conspiracy theory.
Oh my God, I had never heard this conspiracy theory.
Neither had I until I heard Billy Joel's response to it. Billy Joel says, hey, it's kind of ridiculous. This song's been out for over 50 years. That this is just now getting some headway.
Joel, it's okay if it was at a gay bar. No one's judging.
Well, he more laughed it off than anything else. But I love that song, by the way.
It's a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
It's better live.
The conspiracy that I was familiar with is that it's called Piano Man, but the piano is a side instrument. It's really the harmonica.
The harmonica really takes the lead in that song.
It is the standout instrument on that song. But some people noticed everybody that he talks about is a dude. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. The regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man sitting next to me making love to his tonic and gin.
Yeah.
Somebody's a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife, and he's talking to Davey, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life.
Yeah.
Some people thought, oh, Billy Joel used to be a piano player at a gay bar. Well, Billy Joel has responded now. I'm completely fascinated by the idea. He doesn't name check a single lady in the entire bar. Joe at the bar, or John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gets me my drinks for free, huh?
Yeah.
And he's quick with a joke or to give you a poke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. Anyway, we're going to kind of take apart Piano Man and look at it from a gay perspective. Speaking of gay perspectives, at the DNC last night, they were very in your face with the gay speakers and everybody. A few of the speakers just really put it in your face, that they're gay, which, I'm fine with. But I doubt if there's anybody who's a MAGA supporter who that's going to win them over,
Kind of, yeah.
There were a few what I call infraction points. I don't even know if I'm using that word right, but
okay.
Keith Ellison, who used to be the Attorney General of Minnesota and prosecuted the police officer who killed George Floyd, he was talking, And I realize that's one of those topics where, depending on what you feel about it, obviously the DNC crowd felt that George Floyd is clearly the victim. I mean, they had a trial about it, sent the guy to prison and everything. But if your opinion is the cop was the victim and George Floyd was a criminal, if that's where you are, you're probably MAGA and nothing's going to win you over.
I think I would agree with that statement, yeah.
Right? That's one of those things. If you just knew, what do you feel about the George Floyd and the officer Derek Chauvin? If depending on how you answer, it's probably a pretty 100% accurate prediction of who you're going for in the election, right?
Yeah.
So there were a few of those last night. I kind of want to, we'll have sound clips coming up here in just a few minutes. We'll hear some of the sound clips. Bill Clinton spoke last night and boasted that he just turned 78, but he's still younger than Donald Trump. Clinton was president like 150 years ago, man. I mean, that's history, right? Weren't you a kid when Clinton was president?
Yeah, I was.
You might have even been born when Clinton. Now, probably not.
No.
Who was president when you were born? You know?
Second Bush.
Second, not Reagan.
Oh, no.
First interesting.
Bush. First Bush.
First Bush. Good morning, Joanna.
Oh, good morning, Buzz.
We are also going to have tickets for the Sunday concert with Lamb of God and Mastodon. Kerry King, the lead guitarist of the legendary Slayer, is going to be a special guest. Woo! Malevolence is another band that's playing, so it's a huge bill. And Maximum Metal at the old county barn. So
the old county barn.
Well, it is. I mean,
you keep saying that.
I'm just not sure they've stress tested this one. I mean, they've had concerts there before, but this is Lamb of God Mastodon. We're going to have tickets to give away for that show this morning before 10 o'clock. We're going to let you know what the ghost song of the day is as we continue to observe the month of August. And we have great prizes to give away, including the grand prize at the end of August. It's an autographed Phantom guitar from Hagstrom with the signature of Tobias Forge of Ghost right on it. We're going to give that away, and we'll tell you how you can win coming up this morning. So I've got a lot of business to take care of and stuff to do. Joanna, when you get to the Hollywood Cheesemay, what are you going to be talking about today?
These streaming services are getting, I think, a little out of hand because a new one is coming your way, and it sounds maybe a little delicious. Chick-fil-A is starting a streaming service. No word on when it'll happen, but they're saying they're going to be putting out family-friendly content.
Okay. Hey, I just got a call. I was saying that Billy Joel doesn't mention a single female in Piano Man.
Okay, yeah.
Corrections and retractions.
Oh, corrections and retractions.
Hey, morning show. Good morning. On the Piano Man, the waitress is practicing politics.
Yeah.
Oh, a waitress.
Have a good show.
Okay, let me amend that. All of the customers are men.
Good. Yes.
The waitress is practicing politics.
All the ones who don't work there.
As the businessmen slowly get stoned. This is the...
I can't wait to deep dive this.
The Piano Man was at a gay bar conspiracy theory that Billy Joel has officially responded to. And yes, I only learned about this theory this morning. But I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get into this. We got a lot headed your way. Some audio from last night at the DNC to play for you. And maybe Nico will be showing up soon. We'll have to find out about that.
Hey, you didn't send your text last night.
I mean, should I continue to do that every day? Nico, don't forget to come to work.
Yeah.
Nico.
He needs that reminder, remember?
Show starts at 6 a.m. sharp. Maybe. I mean, it didn't succeed. The 2 nights I did it, he was still 15 or 20 minutes late each day.
But he showed up.
He did show up, yeah.
The Daily Calendar.
Today, August 22nd.
It's World Plant Milk Day, proving once and for all you don't have to have nipples to give milk.
I have nipples, Greg. Could you milk me?
It's also National Take Your Cat to the Vet Day. They keep you happy, you may as well keep them healthy. I said cat. And it's National Be an Angel Day since 1993. So do something nice for those around you.
No.
And that's your daily calendar.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Your phone in Mexico like it trees one network. Only with AT&T. Visit att.com/one network for details.
Local and loco.
Don't you know I'm loco?
The Buzz Adams Morning Show. 95.5 KLAQ.
All right, we're all set to get into today in Sound Clips audio from last night at the DNC, among other things. A lot of audio to get to here. And Nico has arrived. Derek wrote in and said, if you're going to be late, at least you could have picked up some pumpkin spice lattes. We're trying to accept that into everybody's mind that you call it spunkin' pice.
Okay.
We're trying to make that happen.
And no, I
couldn't
have gotten anything because then that would have just made me later.
Yeah, but if you're going to be late, you might as well have a treat for us. That'd be nice.
I don't have money to do that every day.
Well, today's a special day. It's the first day that the pumpkin spice or spunkin' pice latte is available at Starbucks.
Wow.
The earliest they've ever made that particular fall beverage available.
Gross.
You don't like pumpkin spice? What?
I don't like spunkin' spice.
Spunkin' pice. That should have been one of the Spice Girls. Pumpkin spice should have been like the fat girl. They really missed an opportunity. They were about 20 years too early,
spice, right? Yeah. Ice spice.
We're going to let you know what the ghost song of the day is going to be. We have a great prize for the month of August, and we'll let you know what that is. We also have tickets to give away for the concert Sunday at the County Coliseum. Lamb of God and Mastodon are headlining, but special guest Kerry King from Slayer is going to be there. He's going to do a set, and so is Malevolence. And we have tickets to give away for that Sunday night show at the County Coliseum today, and we have another pair for tomorrow on the Buzz Adams Morning Show. And get on board Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea. We are giving away a trip to go on a cruise. Chris Jericho is going to be there. His band Fozzy is going to be there. He's going to have a bunch of fellow wrestlers and rockers on board. So if you win the trip, it leaves out of Miami on January 31st of next year. And you'll have access to the wrestling events, the rock concerts they have. A lot of podcasts are going to be going on, and you'll be right in the middle of all of it. All your meals and basic beverages are included. Of course, you get to meet Chris Jericho and the other celebrities on board. For this prize package, we're also providing a $1,000 travel voucher and $500 in spending cash. If you really want to see what the cruise is all about and the prize, and also I hear there are a few cabins, not many, but a few cabins left that you could purchase if you want to, but don't. It's almost sold out. It's the following website, ChrisJerichoCruise.com. That's ChrisJerichoCruise.com. Go and check it out and listen for the code words. It's a code word contest 4 times a day in the 10 a.m. hour, 2 p.m. hour, 5 p.m. hour, and 8 p.m. hour. We're going to give a code word. Once you hear the code word on the air, enter it on the KLAQ mobile app or at KLAQ.com. And every one of these code words you identify and enter is another entry into the contest. Get on board Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea in January. Good luck.
And now, today in Sound Clips.
All of the day's news with accompanying sound bites and actualities. Let's check out our sound clips for today. A couple of friends went out searching for a missing biker after the cops called off the search. The police had searched for 5 days and had failed to find Zachary DeMoss. He's a 24-year-old biker in Idaho. Got separated from his friends while out on a ride. And after 5 days of being missing, police couldn't find him and decided to wind down the search. But 2 of Zachary's friends Greg and Danielle Commons are their name, decided they would ride out to the area to look for him themselves. Do you want to know what happened?
Yeah.
They found him lying next to a river, barely alive.
Oh, my God.
So here's Greg, one of the friends that went out looking for their missing biker friend, telling the story.
Something just willed me to look right, and there he was, laying right there by the river. You know, Zach was tough enough to hold out for 5 days on that mountain while he's seen people walking by. He tried to holler at them. He tried to get their attention, and so many people went by and decided that we needed to go up there because, you know, we've known this kid forever. Out of the corner of my eye, I see a guy laying by the river. Zach rolls over and he opens his eyes and he says, "Hey man, I've been in a wreck. I'm in a bad way." And it's like, no way, we just found you.
Wow. Pretty dramatic, right?
Yeah, crazy.
Hey, have you ever heard of the Piano Man is at a gay bar theory? Of the Billy Joel
I always
song?
thought Billy Joel was a little gay.
He was married to Christy Brinkley. Come on.
That's so gay.
Okay.
No. The Piano Man is the song. You're saying that the person who's in the song is at a gay bar?
That Billy Joel, it's about him playing at a bar, and he mentions everybody, and there are all of these single dudes. Billy Joel has responded to that, and Joanna and I are really excited to get into that.
I can't wait.
Coming up later. What is a real estate novelist? Is that somebody who writes novels about real estate, or is somebody who's a real estate agent who also writes novels? That's one of the lyrics in there.
Question.
What is a
And I
real
feel
estate
like it's
novelist?
something that only a gay man can do.
Also, why is it called Piano Man when harmonica is the lead instrument?
Who the
in
hell
that
is
song?
playing the harmonica?
Billy.
Really?
Yes. Billy Joel is a multi-instrumentalist. Like a super, super talented
Is
guy.
that line in there, real estate novelist?
Yes.
Bill's
But
a real
Nico,
estate novelist.
when we get into this, I
who
want you to
never
look up
had
the
time
lyrics.
for a wife.
And
Never
he's
had-
talking to Davey, who's still in the Navy.
and probably will be for life.
I wonder what the exact you think he's saying real estate or realist?
I am absolutely 100% sure that he's saying real estate novelist. It's very clear.
Spotify will have the answer. I'll check it out when it's time.
Right. We need a deep dive.
A hunter in Alaska was mauled by a bear.
Oh, God.
I'm kind of a toss-up on these. When you're out hunting an animal and the animal turns around and gets you, I'm almost going for the animal. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what you get for going into their house.
Right. You're the one who was bugging him. But anyway, this is a very dramatic story. Tyler Johnson was able to pull his gun as the bear attacked him. He shot the bear, but he also shot himself in the leg. Here is Tyler Johnson, the hunter in Alaska, who ended up getting mauled by a bear and shot himself in the leg. Here he is just minutes after the attack, explaining what happened.
I came charging at my dad. He made some noise, and then it went straight to me. And thankfully, when I was falling backwards, I was able to unsheath my pistol, and when he was on top of me, absolutely unload. I did shoot myself in the leg when I was falling backwards, but it went straight through my leg. I'm not sure if, again, I shot myself when I was falling backwards or the bear got me. I know he did bite into me. I think I felt that, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well,
he shot himself twice defending himself?
No, you can imagine the mayhem of having a bear attacking you. I guess the only thing left for him now is to take the bear and mysteriously plant it in Central Park as a practical joke. A couple of parents are warning, check what your child is served at a restaurant. A toddler in California was actually served wine instead of apple juice, and according to the child's parents, became very intoxicated. Here's the child's mom, Noemi Valencia, talking about how they were able to tell that their toddler was drunk.
She was swaying. She was falling over. She was leaning on the walls. She couldn't hold her head up. She was slurring her words.
She was asking for a cigarette, and I didn't have any.
Everyone was trying to stop her from texting her ex.
She wanted to go to a second place, and we were already at the first place.
She went up and started talking to a bunch of little boys who were way below her level. A man got arrested for refusing to leave an American Airlines flight from Miami to Las Vegas. The reason they wanted him to get off the plane was because his forehead was bleeding. I guess it was bleeding pretty extensively. And the reason it was bleeding, Joanna, is because he had a recent hair transplant surgery.
Oh, I saw the picture of this.
Oh, my God. Really?
Eugenio Hernandez and his wife were both arrested for refusing to get off the American Airlines flight. Here is Eugenio explaining what happened.
She told me you don't go out. I go call the police, and I say call the police because that's an injustice. I'm paying my flight. I don't have nothing illegal in my packet. Everything is fine.
He's just like bleeding down his head.
Just bleeding.
Hey, I paid for my ticket.
He's all, it's fine. That's what it does.
I'm a bleeder.
That could be in your future, Nico.
No, there's no way I would get that.
You wouldn't do that?
No.
You don't like looking like a weird doll head? Have you ever seen the ones where they're like in rows, like crops? The hair transplants I'm talking about.
Thank God.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. may drop out of the race and join Trump, but there are also reports that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has reached out to Kamala Harris to ask for some role in her administration. The fact that Robert F. Kennedy is such a political mercenary, I think says a lot more about him than it does either one of the presidential candidates. You know, he just wants to make a power grab here. Asked at a campaign stop yesterday if former President Donald Trump was promising a cabinet position to Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Senator J.D. Vance said that's not the case.
I think clearly Donald Trump is not going to say, I'll give you a cabinet position if you give me an endorsement.
That kind of sounds like exactly the type of thing Donald Trump might say. He might say it and not do it, but, I mean, it kind of sounds like the kind of backroom
transaction.
Yeah.
It's about welcoming a lot of those Democrats who feel abandoned by the party of Kamala Harris.
I caught a lot of night 3 of the DNC last night.
How was it?
Well, you definitely see the points where America's split on. You know, they had Keith Ellison, who's a congressman from Minnesota, Tim Walz's home state, and he was the prosecutor of Derek Chauvin. Remember the police officer that killed George Floyd? Mm-hmm. That is one of those things where, you know, he's up there and they're talking about the legacy of George Floyd. You can almost tell with 100% accuracy where somebody is politically. Their opinion of this one issue. Was George Floyd a victim, and does that police officer, Derek Chauvin, deserve to be in prison? Or was George Floyd a criminal who got what was coming to him? Because that is the position of the MAGA side. I was just listening to him talk about George Floyd. It's like, boy, just depending on what you think about that one issue probably is a really good indicator of who you're planning on voting for.
Yeah.
And there were a couple other of those moments last night. They had the attorney, I forget who she was, but, you know, the DNC and the RNC can really make a political career. Barack Obama was almost completely unknown until he spoke at the RNC in 2004. At the DNC, excuse me, in 2004. And he just became a superstar based on that. And 4 years later, he's president. He's a 2-term president of the United States. So anyway, they had one lady who was gay and talking about her gay family. And it was just very in your face, you know. And there are, how you feel about that, I think, says a lot. You know, if you see that and you're disgusted by it because you consider that a sinful lifestyle, well, you're almost certainly going to vote MAGA, right?
Right.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
During her speech at the DNC last night, here you go. Michigan, this is her. Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel said the Republican opposition to same-sex marriage meant they would have to deal with her and her wife in a personal way. So she's, really telling her story here.
By the way, I got a message for the Republicans and the justices of the United States Supreme Court. You can pry this wedding band from my cold, dead, gay hand.
Very in your face.
Yeah.
I mean,
she's one of those mad lesbians.
But that doesn't win anybody over. Somebody who already believes that you are living a sinful... and I'm just telling you, I know how these people think. Somebody who thinks you're living an amoral, sinful lifestyle, well, that's only going to turn them off more. And then she makes a comment about retaining water. And I think despite the fact that they're going for a guy like Donald Trump, a lot of voters on the other side just find that inappropriate to talk about your bodily functions.
I don't know what you're talking. What are you talking about?
That I understand these.
What's retaining water?
I don't even know what it means. It's something
bloating. That doesn't mean anything about bodily functions.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, if you got a group of people who are already skeptical of you and your lifestyle, maybe just don't poke them in the eye.
It's the same way that anti-abortion advocates are very proud of their stance. I mean, it's not like when they get up there and they preach or they say they support their movement that they're really moving the needle for anybody who's against abortion or for abortion.
Okay, I am just telling you, I have a keen insight into the
because your mom.
The
You're
MAGA
thinking of your
mindset.
mom.
Not just my mom, probably like most of the people that I grew up with. Oklahoma is as red as Texas is. Another speaker last night, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who talked about Trump, said, we've done that and we don't want to go back to it.
We broke up with you for a reason. Donald Trump can spin the block all he wants, but there's no reason for us to ever get back together. Been there, done that. We're not going back.
I just think this is a real unique opportunity for the Democrats to cement their position as the responsible party of adults. You know what I mean?
What are they doing that's not doing that? How are they not?
How are they not doing it?
Well, you just said I want the Democrats to be the adults in the room. What are they doing that's not acting like the adults in the room?
There have been a few. I can name a few instances where they just went as low as the MAGA people did. The thing between the Jasmine Crockett, the representative from Texas, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. Marjorie Taylor Greene absolutely started it. Remember when? And then Jasmine Crockett came back and said she had a bad built butch body. That's just lowering yourself to the level of your opponent, and that is not how you claim the high ground, for instance. She was speaker on night 2, Jasmine Crockett.
Yeah, she had a great speech.
Nancy Pelosi spoke last night and said that this election is all about autocracy versus democracy.
To stand together, to reject autocracy, to choose democracy, and we will do so by electing a Democratic House with Hakeem Jeffries as Speaker of the House.
And former President Bill Clinton spoke. It was his 13th time speaking at a Democratic National Convention. One of the things he did was praise Joe Biden for voluntarily giving up political power.
And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do.
Man, Bill sounded rough, huh?
And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power.
All those cigars.
Yeah, and he didn't even smoke most of those. Clinton mentioned that he just had a birthday, and he also brought up an interesting fact.
2 days ago, I turned 78, the oldest man in my family in 4 generations. And the only personal vanity I want to assert is I'm still younger than Donald Trump.
That's crazy, isn't it?
What?
He was president in the 90s, man.
That is
and he's
crazy.
still younger than Donald Trump. He's also still younger than Joe Biden. One of the things I'm noticing is that the RNC was very doom and gloom. You know, if you don't elect this guy, we're going to be worse than any third world. You know,
Four horses of the apocalypse.
Right. That was kind of the mood at the RNC. The DNC seems a little lighter, more hopeful, and more upbeat. Here's Clinton joking. He says that Kamala will break his record if she's elected president.
I'll be so happy when she actually enters the White House as president, because she will break my record as the president who spent the most time at McDonald's.
Yeah, I guess Trump eats McDonald's a lot, but he doesn't actually go to McDonald's. Like, he sends somebody to McDonald's.
And
we interviewed Michael Wolff a couple of weeks ago. He had
goes?
Well,
what is he saying? That is the most awkward, like, bizarre statement.
He went to McDonald's. They did a skit on Saturday Night Live when it was Daryl Hammond playing Bill Clinton, and I guess during campaigns he would stop at a McDonald's. No, it wasn't Daryl Hammond. It was Phil Hartman.
Mm-hmm.
He was doing the Clinton. He's like, based on, he had actually gone into a McDonald's, but Phil Hartman's version of it was like, "Are you gonna eat all those fries? Can I?" He just kept stuffing his face with other people's food. So, Oprah Winfrey had a knockout speech last night. She really did, and I think her secret power is the ability to meet people kind of where they are. So she talked about knowing conservatives and liberals who might disagree on certain policy issues, but would still help each other in a heartbeat. Here is Oprah Winfrey, who might have had the speech of the night last night.
What I've witnessed and experienced are human beings, both conservative and liberal, who may not agree with each other, but who'd still help you in a heartbeat if you were in trouble.
She gives an example of if somebody's house is on fire, you don't stop and ask, well, who did they vote for in the last election? Or what is their position on gay marriage?
Yeah, I don't want to save them.
She had a pretty good line. I wish I had it in her own words, but she said, even if you're a childless cat lady, we would rush in and save you, and we'd try to save the cat, too. And that got a big... That was a big applause line. Finally, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz delivered the biggest speech of his political career, accepting the Democratic Party's nomination for vice president last night.
It's the honor of my life to accept your nomination for vice president of the United States.
All right, Walz.
Did you see him with his little son?
How old was the son? Like a kid? Or are his kids all adults?
His son, I don't know if he's as tall as his dad.
Okay.
He almost looks like a little mini-me of his dad. A little chubby.
Walz said about Trump that real leaders don't spend all day insulting and blaming everybody that they can.
Leaders don't spend all day insulting people and blaming others. Leaders do the work. So I don't know about you. I'm ready to turn the page on these guys. So go ahead. Say it with me. We're not going back.
Tonight is night 4 of the Democratic National Convention, and this is the night that Kamala Harris is expected to make her big speech. She pulled a surprise appearance Monday, the first night of the DNC, by appearing on stage, but her real... her real moment at the spotlight is going to be tonight.
And now, Kamala Harris prepares for her speech at the DNC.
All right, Kamala, let's do a little practicing for tonight's big speech. Are you ready? I'll take that as a yes. What do you plan on doing about student loans? Okay, I guess the people will like that. People love laughter.
Yeah.
What is your stance on immigration? Yeah, immigration can be a funny subject, I guess. Okay, what are you going to say about the war in Ukraine? Very sad stuff. Yeah, I wouldn't. On the more serious topics, maybe you might want to not, I don't know, laugh as much. What do you think? Yeah, this is going to go great.
This has been Kamala Harris preparing for her speech at the DNC.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday,
price, financing rate, hurry, because we want to see you in a Petrie Kia. On select new models with approved credit. See dealer for details.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Got a random facts segment coming up here in just a few minutes. I try and do this at least once a week, and it's just educational, you know. We'll learn some stuff. Hopefully you'll learn something you didn't already know.
They are facts.
I do fact check them and vet them and everything. Do you want to get a few calls from the about the DNC last night?
Oh, did we get calls?
We have. We've gotten calls. I watched a lot of it. I did not catch Tim Walz's speech, though. And that supposedly was a real highlight.
Hey, good morning, guys. What you guys all think about Gus Waltz?
Is that
Tim Waltz's son last night? Holy crap. That was amazing to watch. At least it was for me. I got emotional. That was the coolest thing I'll see all week. Just wondering what your thoughts are. Thanks.
I guess what I'm reading about it.
17 years old.
Yeah, he looked like a little man.
Like a little dude.
Yeah,
I guess at one point he said, "That's my dad." And
Gus is 17 and has a nonverbal learning disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder.
A nonverbal learning disorder. So he doesn't speak?
I don't know. Yeah, this is a part I regret missing. It sounds like Tim Walz really made an impression, at least on that caller.
Walz has previously spoken about the importance of not trying to change him, but to help him enjoy his life.
Hey, in our app chat, and thanks for writing us in our app chat. You can download the KLAQ mobile app, wherever you get your apps. Christy says Bill Clinton's statement about Kamala at McDonald's was because she worked at McDonald's as a teenager.
Oh.
I was not aware of that. Thank you. Oprah looks great. Check out Oprah.
Yeah,
Nico on TV right now.
I did see Oprah.
Wow,
yesterday.
Oprah looks as good as I think she's ever looked.
You're
Zempic.
just looking at two things.
Oh.
Because her boobs look nice now.
Buzz Adams.
I didn't say that. Nico said that.
No, you're
I
the
just
one
said
looking.
she looks
But
great.
I see your eyes over there being so distracted.
Leering. Hey, somebody else called in.
Good morning, Nico, Joanna, and Buzz.
Hello.
This is Matt Plato.
Hello.
Hey, after watching last night the convention, and I pretty much watched all of it. I'm no longer on the fence. I'm absolutely sure that, and I hope it happens that Kamala Harris is going to win. After listening to Stevie Wonder, after listening to other people speak, it's just no longer a doubt in my mind that the nation is going to be better off with the Democrats in there. They just psychoanalyzed Trump last night to the point where anybody with a rational mind is going to vote not for Trump. So that's my take on it. Thank you. Good morning.
All right. Thank you, Matt Plato.
Can I play this one real quick?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, Buzz, yesterday you were talking about how you don't know how someone like RFK, who's so well educated and so smart, could be so stupid, I guess. Best example, you don't have to look much further than your own nose, because your dad was a very smart man, and you're just a big bumbling buffoonish oaf with a smooth brain.
Oh, smooth brain.
Oh, it was Smooth Brain.
It was Smooth Brain all along. Let me clear up a couple of misnomers there. First of all, I didn't say RFK Jr. is stupid. I said he's an intelligent man, but it goes beyond being stupid. He has actively put out some of the most anti-science nonsense and misinformation about vaccines and the efficacy of vaccines. Stupid is not the word for it. It is misguided. And the other misnomer is that my dad was a very intelligent man. My dad was a very good man. Like my dad, I never saw him talk bad about another person. I never saw him treat someone in a way that you would not want to be treated yourself. My dad was a great example. My dad took a lot of pride in the fact, and he told me this a couple of times, that he has never read any book in his life except the Bible and his Sunday school lesson book.
All right.
So not a well-read man.
No, he never claimed to be. That was not what he was, but he was a fantastic example of how you treat people fairly. And I'm talking about back in the 70s when I was growing up as a kid. He was a very good man.
No, he sounds like he was a great man.
But I'm way smarter than he was. And I love my dad.
I got one more call as well.
All right, fine. We got to do random facts here. Let's go ahead and get into this.
And now it's time for random
facts.
Every week or so, we like to present random facts as an educational service to our listening audience. We take this pretty seriously and try not to pass anything off that is not confirmed and vetted. So here we go with our 3 random facts for today.
All right.
Mixing alcohol with diet soda gets people drunk 18% faster than mixing alcohol with regular soda.
I've heard that a lot.
What do you say? A regular soda meaning sugar?
Just a regular non-diet.
Yes.
And it does.
So the answer is yes, Steve.
The sugar, so the sugar in regular soda slows down the effects of the alcohol. So if you're mixing drinks and you want to get there faster, use a diet soda.
Yeah, Southern Comfort and Diet Coke.
When you asked him that question, he didn't really know the answer, though.
He had to continue reading the facts.
Until it said, oh, yeah, the sugar actually does help.
No, I read them in
You mean
advance.
with sugar?
He's all,
the opposite of diet, whatever that is.
Now here's the
they have
question I have for this.
sugar-free. They have diet. They have sugar-free.
Is it the aspartame? Is that what
It's the
does?
sugar.
Is that what does the job?
We've established it is the sugar.
It's going to get you lit, okay? If you want to get lit faster, diet soda.
Random fact number 2. There is no word for blue in the ancient Greek language. Have you ever heard that before?
I have. Yeah, because they didn't have.
In fact, there's been some speculation. I don't know how seriously it's taken, but I know that some people speculate that maybe humans didn't see blue. Like we didn't develop
like they were
that
colorblind.
like dogs, like ancient people, but other languages of the time did have a word for blue. And at the turn of phrase I remember from the Odyssey or the Iliad or something, I think those are the same thing, was that they described the wine dark sea. Interesting, huh?
That is interesting.
Wine dark sea. But no word for blue in ancient Greek.
Well, the first pigment I think that people were able to make was like something like red.
Yeah, probably out of blood.
Well, here's my other question.
That's probably what they used.
Red clay or any iron oxide, yeah.
What did they call the sky color-wise when they were looking up in the sky?
I don't know, but not blue. There was not a word in ancient Greek for that. And finally,
they called it God. That's what they thought it was.
Random fact number 3. I asked, what do you think the first human invention to break the sound barrier was?
Mud. Sorry.
Mud is a human
I was going to say my D.
Huh?
No, never mind. Whatever.
Steve, any idea what would be the first invention made by humans that broke the sound barrier? That is, went so fast that it caused a sonic boom.
from humans. I have no idea. What was it?
All right, you ready for this?
Okay.
The first thing a human invented that could break the sound barrier was a whip. Nico was right. That, like Indiana Jones, that sound is not the leather snapping against each other. That is a miniature
sonic boom.
Sonic boom.
Sonic
Nico,
boom.
it's true, right?
So Derek says the sound barrier. That Armenian racist devil said a whip.
You were right.
I know it was a whip. I wasn't being racist.
Whip. Anytime if you can snap a whip, you're breaking the sound barrier. The tip of the whip is going so fast that it causes a miniature.
All right, here's my question to you on this. Okay,
Yeah.
Let's say the tip of the whip cannot touch the floor.
The tip of the whip better not hit you in the lip.
If it can't
Or the
touch
nip.
if it can't touch the floor, and you whip something with a short whip, will you still hear the sound effect? Because according to this hypothesis, breaking the sound barrier is
it's a fact.
According to the random fact, that sound is not the sound of the whip hitting the floor. That is the sound
You're
of
correct.
just the whip.
Wait, you don't hit the whip on them. That's not how you use a whip.
Well, I'm just saying
you snap it in the air.
Right, but that sound, I never thought that sound was actually from the sound barrier. So
it's from the tip of the whip going through
the tip of the whip through the lip
air
of
so
the nip.
quickly.
Okay.
But no, you're actually right. I mean, I think they do this in physics, like physics classes. You take the length of the whip, and depending on the length of the whip, it will give a different.
Yeah. All
All right,
that's
but
cool.
anyway, that's a few thousand years old, breaking the sound barrier.
Didn't know
for
that.
long.
Now whip it into shape. Shape it up. Get straight. Go forward. Move ahead. Try to detect it. It's not too late to whip it. Whip it good.
Artist interviews, new music discoveries, celebrating artists' birthdays, commemorating releases, champion of all things rock.
4 starting August. Lucchese locations, Gateway Outlet on the east side and the Montana Outlet in Central.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
All right, Joanna's going to have our Hollywood Cheesemate coming up in just a moment. Also, we'll let you know what the ghost song of the day is going to be and what hour it's going to be played in. Remember, when you hear the ghost song of the day during the month of August, if you're the 13th caller, you win the daily prize, which is a copy of their movie soundtrack right here, right now. But you're in the running for the grand prize autographed Phantom and guitar with a Hagstrom case, autographed by Tobias Forge a Ghost. And of all of our daily winners, I think we get 22 weekdays in the month of August. So you got a 1 in 22 chance of winning this valuable guitar autograph by Papa Emeritus himself. Hey, it's time to check in on Ruidoso and Ed the Brewer. Nico, why don't you introduce Ed the Brewer? Because you do a lot of work, and Oktoberfest is coming up, and you'll be back there with your Lederhosen. They said they're actually going to give you... Do you remember a couple of weeks ago, Ed said they were going to give you Lederhosen?
Yeah, that is surprising because they're...
Are you going to hold him to that?
Maybe, yeah.
They're fancy
definitely.
leather pants, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Ed.
Hey guys, how are you guys doing?
Good. Fantastic.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Ed. Ed
Yeah,
the
Nico,
Brewer.
I got to tell you the reason why we're going to let you keep those pants is because nobody wants second
Wear them
leather
afterwards.
pants.
Right.
They are leather pants, aren't they?
Yeah, like a cat suit. just like a cat
Yeah.
suit.
What's the bar that Ed works at up there?
Ed the
Nico?
brewer is from Downshift Brewing Company up in Ruidoso, New Mexico, and he's going to let us know what's going on, how things are recovering after the terrible fire and the flooding that they had. Ed, also, what's the name of the website or the place where people can get an update about Ruidoso?
So that's going to be callmeruidoso.com. So that'll give you any updates if there's any weather concerns going on. But yeah, what's up, El Paso? It's good to be back on the show. And man, it's really starting to kind of feel like it's getting back to normal around here. So we're excited.
That is a great update. Weather, of course. How's it looking for this weekend? If somebody was planning a trip, is this a good weekend to come up to the mountains?
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you guys are going to see weather-wise, but it's going to be incredible down here. And there's actually a lot going on that is, fun for the family and or, if you don't have kids, there's stuff for you too. So tomorrow is our last Under a Mountain Sky music at the parks. That's free music from 6 to 8, and they're closing it out with Phil Hamilton and Zach Aaron, which are two Texas guys that just, man, if you haven't heard them, they're incredible. And then the after party tomorrow night is the Doso Dirtbags. That's a local band here in Ruidoso, and they rock hard. And they'll be at Downshift Riverside. So, if you can, go pack your bags and just hit the road. You get here by 6. And then, on Saturday, there's a really cool event. So the Odessa Chuck Wagon Roundup, those guys are coming in. And if you've never seen like a Chuck Wagon cook-off, it is incredible. They've got the wagons and stuff. Those guys are going to be out at Wingfield Park starting at noon. And I'll actually be out there slinging beer with my dad all day. So if you guys come by, say hi. If you say you heard me on the Buzz Adams show, then, I'll give you a free crisp high five.
Hey, look at that.
A free what?
Crisp high five.
A high five. Nice crisp, delicious high five.
I thought he was describing a beer.
Is there a beer called the high five?
That sounds like a good name for a beer.
It does, right? The high five.
I'm just talking about a regular high five, though.
There's some legal issues with giving away beer, I think. But
I think so, yeah.
Ed, what about hotels? Are there places for people to stay up there?
That is a great question. As far as lodging goes, are enough of the hotels fully operational? Are people going to have trouble if they just go up and cold call at a cabin, lodge or someplace like that?
No, I mean, the good news for you, if you do want to come up, is that, tourism is down. So there's tons of hotel rooms and Airbnbs available. All the hotels are at full capacity, or in terms of their ability to receive people, not full capacity in terms of people, fully booked.
Yeah, they're not full, but they are open for business, and you won't have any trouble finding lodging for the weekend.
No, not at all. Yeah. So come on up, stay the night. There's stuff going on all weekend. And also, just to put it on your radar, Labor Day is 2 weeks away.
God,
so,
it's less than 2 weeks. It's a week from from Monday, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Less than
2
2 weeks.
weekends away, I guess. But one really cool thing that's happening on Labor Day weekend is, obviously with the fire, they postponed the big fireworks show that they do here every year, and that's the biggest fireworks in the state. And they have postponed it to Labor Day weekend, so that'll be happening.
You guys go in big on fireworks on Labor Day, not 4th of July. I mean, I'm sure they have plenty of 4th of July stuff, but
no.
Well, actually, we postponed the fireworks show from the 4th of July because of the fires to Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, did you not get what he was saying?
Well, I do now.
Yeah.
I get it now. Okay. All right. Head up to Ruidoso. Make sure you go to Downshift Brewery. 2 locations. The Riverside location is the one I'm familiar with. It's just right in the heart of all the activity and the action and the fun, and it's always a great time. And they do have delicious.
Yeah, it's some of the best.
I gotta
beer
say,
and food.
Some of the beer that Ed the brewer whips
thanks.
up is some of the best I've ever had. So,
my mom has the same opinion.
all right, Ed. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend in Ruidoso.
All right, you guys do. Appreciate it.
All right, thanks, man. Ed the brewer.
right, Joanna, tell us more.
Time for entertainment news. Joanna Barber brings us the Hollywood Cheesemay every day at around this time. Good morning, Joanna.
Good morning.
I love your cheesemay.
Thank you so much. 2 months after falling off the stage during a performance of Player Kings at a theater in London, Sir Ian McKellen says his injuries would have been worse if not for his wardrobe. McKellen said during an interview, quote, "I was wearing a fat suit and that saved my ribs and other joints." He went on to explain that he's still very much affected by the accident in the production, and he's still healing from having a chipped vertebrae and a fractured wrist. He also revealed that he has agonizing pains in his shoulders, and the 85-year-old revealed that he doesn't go out because he gets nervous that somebody might bump into him.
What?
He fell, remember?
All he has to do is tell them, "You shall not pass," to keep them from bumping into him.
That's only if they're a ball around.
McKellen, who has a long history with the theater, says this won't stop him from performing in the future.
Have you seen Ian McKellen's impression of Dame Maggie Smith?
No.
He
I'd
does
love to see that.
An
Yeah.
amazing
Bring that up.
impression.
Look for that.
Okay, I will look it up.
The Dowager Duchess Grantham?
Yes.
Okay. Look out, Peacock. There's reportedly a new video streaming service that's avian themed. Chick-fil-A plans to launch a video streaming service, according to Deadline. The streaming service is expected to focus on family-friendly content and include original TV shows. Deadline reports that Chick-fil-A is in discussions to license and acquire content, but is also working with numerous major production companies, including some of the studios, to make these family shows. It also reportedly recruited TV show producer Brian Gibson to head programming. Chick-fil-A also reportedly ordered 10 episodes of an unnamed show from Studio Sugar 23. The production company has experience producing shows for streaming services like Netflix, for example, VOA, and for Apple TV Plus with their show Dickinson. No comments
I
on
have
the
no
Peacock?
comments about
on Dickinson.
On the Chick-fil-A streaming service.
Hey, do people still hold it against Chick-fil-A that they like donated to anti-gay causes and stuff, or is that bridge under the water?
Some people are very
like hold on to that.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to throw anyone under the bus, but
I'm more upset they're closed on Sundays.
that should be the most upsetting
Yeah.
thing. But I know a few gays that still go to Chick-fil-A, and they love it. Moving on. I lost my place. Stand by. Okay. Zoe Kravitz wants you to puff twice before seeing her new movie, Blink Twice. The actress and second-generation celebrity's directorial debut hits theaters this weekend, and she's got some advice for prospective viewers who really want to get their minds blown by the twists and turns of this psychological thriller. On Instagram, she wrote, "Smoke a J and go watch Blink Twice in theaters August 23rd. Kravitz was also promoting a marijuana brand called Pure Beauty. Her famous dad, Lenny Kravitz, is ready to be first in line writing "Save Me Some" on her post. Blink Twice stars Kravitz's real-life fiancé Channing Tatum as Slater Keene, a billionaire tech mogul who owns a private island. There's plenty of glitz and glamour involved, and it all seems like fun and games to cocktail waitress Frida until her friend Jess goes missing, and none of the other vacationers seem to care. Blink Twice hits theaters tomorrow.
That's a power couple, huh? Channing Tatum and Zoe Kravitz.
Yes.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Lenny Kravitz is going to be like your father-in-law.
I saw some interviews with both of them, and they look like an awesome couple. Also, do you know what this movie's about?
Joanna just kind of gave the plot summary there. So, yeah.
It is. It looks kind of like a Jordan Peele style movie, doesn't it, Joanna?
Kind of, yeah.
And
more thriller than gore, you would say?
I would say more thriller, probably, yeah. And it just kind of is like every person's dream when they would meet a celebrity. Like, imagine meeting a really rich, cool person, and they go,
And they're like, come to my island.
"Would you like to come hang out with me?" And you go, what do you
And
mean?
you get to like,
I'll fly you.
yeah, you just get to experience all this.
Okay,
fun
so I
stuff.
have seen a trailer where it's James McAvoy and they meet some people on vacation.
That's
have you
a
seen
different
that
movie,
one?
yeah.
That's not this
That's
one.
not
That's
Oh,
not this one. Different movie.
But you've seen the trailer for that one, right?
Yes, I have.
If a billionaire ever asks
But,
me
yeah.
if I want to take a ride on their plane, I'll probably go, unless
That's
it's Jeffrey
probably
Epstein.
one way to say to get me to
Unless
end
it's
up
Jeffrey
plane.
Epstein.
Yeah, unless it's Jeffrey Epstein. But
I'm
Maybe
going
your
to get on
plane-
the private plane.
Maybe
Yeah.
your plane, but not your submersible that's going to go look at the Titanic.
yeah, nowhere on the water. Nowhere on the water.
Rich people
We
have
can't
bad
have-
luck with water.
Yeah.
We can't get that sacrifice to the water god.
To the Poseidon water gods.
And finally, this is a really weird story, so keep up. The family of French star Alain Delon is rejecting the late actor's wish to have his beloved dog euthanized and buried beside him.
What?
Yes. Alain Delon is a French actor who died on Sunday at the age of 88. And he has been making headlines for his resurfaced 2018 comments revealing his plan to have his dog, a healthy 10-year-old Belgian Malinois called Lubo, put down so that they could be buried together.
You know, that's like an ancient Egyptian pharaoh mindset there.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty
like,
crazy.
I'm going to die, so you must bury all my wives, concubines, and pets with
All
me.
right, honey, get in the tomb.
Get in the tomb now, bitch. In a resurfaced interview, the actor had said, quote, "He is my end-of-life dog, a Belgian shepherd who I love like a child. If I die before him, I will ask that the vet let us go together. He will inject him so that he dies in my arms. I would rather that than knowing that he would let himself die on my grave with so much suffering."
Oh, good Lord. Your dog would
You
eventually get over it, dude.
You really think a lot of yourself.
Yeah.
Well, there is no law in France that prohibits owners from putting down their pets. The recirculated comments prompted several animal rights organizations to condemn the plan, express concern for Lubo, and offer their assistance in rehoming the dog.
Wait, did this guy die?
He did. Pay attention. I told you, keep up. He
Yeah,
died
but then
on
you
Sunday.
started talking about his plan. Okay.
Did they
He
kill
died
the
on-
Died on
dog?
Sunday. And so everyone's saying, what's happening to Lubo? The French Society for the Protection of Animals was among the organizations to speak out, writing on
What's this
X.
guy's name? Delon?
Alain Delon, ALAINDELON.
The dog's like, I'm healthy. I'm
The
healthy.
dog's like, don't kill me.
Well, the family is refusing to put the dog down.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just want to make sure I'm understanding this.
The Brigitte Bardot
Could
Foundation
he have been
announced.
kidding? Is it possible he could have been kidding?
This foundation announced on Tuesday that it was in contact with the Delon family, who have confirmed that Lubo will not be euthanized and Delon's relatives will instead take care
Thank
of the
goodness.
dog.
You had to get it to it, Joanna, because he was not going
know.
to wait for
I know, right?
he was not going to wait for it.
The actor, a self-proclaimed animal lover, reportedly had more than 50 dogs throughout the course of his life, many of which he buried on his home property.
I killed them with my bare
And,
hands.
he's all, and they will all die with me. With your entertainment news, I'm Joanna Barba.
Some pet cemetery in France.
Better than a pet cemetery in Maine.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yes.
The regular crowd shuffles in.
Billy Joel has responded to a song theory that I did not even know existed until today. Is Billy Joel's Piano Man about a gay bar? It says here that this is a theory that has been kicking around the internet for several years.
Amazing.
Some of the lyrics go into Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife.
Oh, I was going to look up the lyrics.
And he's talking to Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life. A few other clues in the song. I'm going to crack this nut open here in just a second. I'll tell you what Billy Joel says about it.
Okay.
I mean, it's not out of the question that Billy Joel might have played piano in a gay bar, right?
There's no shame. Of
Bette
course
Midler got
not.
her start playing in bathhouses. Did you know that?
No.
It's true.
Would she wipe up?
No, she would sing torch songs
in the bathhouse.
Yeah. That's part of the story. I think they even include that in The Rose.
I'm like in my sauna, open opening my pores hearing Bette Midler.
All right, so we are going to do a deep dive into the song Piano
I can't
Man
wait.
and really unravel all the breadcrumbs that people say
Meanwhile,
they've
I'm going to look for
discovered.
the video of me singing Piano Man when I went to see Billy Joel.
And I got that Ian McKellen impression
Oh, thank you. Yes.
when we come back.
We'll hear that when we come back. A lot coming up. Thanks for being with us. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's headed your way right after this.
Music news, concert updates, song and album factoids, and of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock.
Let's play A Car Show plus voice actors. Visit SoldierCon on Facebook or Instagram or c4soldiercon.com for more info and tickets.
El Paso's own live and local, The Buzz Adams Morning Show, 95.5 KLAQ.
Some of our earlier callers in the 6 o'clock hour have triggered a cavalcade of calls. We had a couple callers talking about how moving and inspiring they found parts of the DNC last night, especially Tim Walz and his son. Well, the MAGAs are not going to let you feel good about anything related to the Democrat Party for long because they really have come out in force. But I'm not going to let that distract me from my main priority today, which is talking about whether Billy Joel's Piano Man takes place at a gay bar or not. What a great song.
Yes.
I mean, everything about that song.
Great.
And the
Iconic.
piano sounds like a carnival, and the microphone smells like a beer. Just everything about that song is iconic.
Iconic.
Did you find the audio of you singing along to it at the Billy Joel concert in December?
I did, but I don't want to play it.
Why?
I
Embarrassing.
don't- Yes.
What? Wait, why?
Because I'm in the back singing it.
I want to hear it.
No.
How about Ian McKellen's impression of Maggie
Yeah,
Smith?
Joanna mentioned that.
Oh, yes.
Or you mentioned it. Did you mention it? Who brought up that he does an
Nico
impression?
did.
Okay. Ian McKellen does a Dame Maggie Smith impersonation.
He does.
Maggie Smith played the Dowager Duchess on Downton Abbey.
I remember her more from the seminal work Sister Act 1 and 2, starring
Was Maggie Smith in that?
Yes.
Yeah. She was
She was like
Mother
the-
Superior.
yeah,
Yes.
she was Mother Superior. Anyways, so this is him on the Graham Norton show, and he's telling a story about Maggie Smith.
Dame Maggie.
You have to turn me up.
You're up. I promise.
You promise.
I got it. I'm looking at it right now, man.
Nominated for Gandalf. Oh, yeah. And you had the beads. Yeah.
Well, they weren't beads. In New Zealand, where we filmed Lord of the Rings,
New Zealand in the house.
Yeah.
if you're lucky, when you leave, you're given a piece of green stone carved, and you wear it often enough, and your chances are you'll get back to New Zealand. That's the idea. And it'll bring you a bit of luck. So, when those films were nominated for something like 20 Oscars on that night, everybody from New Zealand was wearing their green stone, their punami, they're called. And when we're on the red carpet going into the ceremony, I met Maggie Smith. Hello, what are you here for? I said, well, Lord of the Rings. Oh, yeah. She said, what's that round your neck? Oh, so it's my punami, Maggie. Oh, your punami, what's that for? I said, well, if I wear it, it'll bring me luck. And, oh, very nice. And we went our separate ways, and it lasts for 3.5 or 4 hours, don't you? Oh, yeah. Oh, God, you sit there and sit there. And at the end, of course, everyone else wins the Oscar apart from you. And a bit dejected, you're coming out looking forward to a drink, and you bump into Maggie Smith, and she points at you and she says, didn't work, didn't it?
Nice.
John at the bar is a friend of mine.
Fine. John's a friend.
He gets me my drinks for free.
He wants to be an actor, though.
And he's quick with a joke.
Ought to light up your smoke, but there's some place that he'd rather be. So, is Piano Man a song about a gay bar? It says that this has been knocking around the internet as a theory for a while. The main argument centers on the following lyric. Now, Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with Davy, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life.
Oh, that's
the theory is that that's a hookup in progress between this guy who never had time for a wife and a guy in the Navy, and there was a certain stereotype
That
about
makes
people in the
sense.
Navy in the
In the
1970s. In the Navy. Yeah, it was a big hit song for the Village
In
People,
our
right?
app chat, Boosted says Piano Man definitely gay, especially when mentioning Navy.
That probably is a guy who was in the Army or the Marines.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that the regulars at the bar ask the piano player, "Man, what are you doing here?" As if he's out of place because he's not
Because he's
gay.
a straight.
I always took that lyric to mean, you're so talented, what are you doing playing in this dive?
What are you doing here? This is gay territory.
Even our piano players need to be gay. We want you to tickle the ivories before you tickle our testes. The most logical reading of that is, man, what are you doing here? You're so talented. What are you doing in this
In
this
verse
place?
4, he says, it's a pretty good crowd for a Saturday, and the manager gives me a smile because he knows that it's me they've been coming to see to forget about life for a while.
Yeah, because he's so talented, right?
Yeah.
But I guess if you want to read it through this gay prism,
he's so gay.
He's so hot.
He's a
that,
cutie
like they're sitting
at
there.
the piano.
The old man sitting next to him making love to his tonic, and Jen wants to be making love to Billy Joel. So this found its way to Billy Joel, and he's commented on it. Here's Billy Joel's take.
Okay.
He says it's very funny. He says, I see how that could be. But as far as Paul not having a wife, Billy says his intention was that Paul was too busy writing his novel to find romance. Here's the biggest question about that song I have. Paul is a real estate novelist.
This is the real things we should be asking.
What is a real estate novel? Did
Joanna,
you look it up?
Yeah, did you look it up exactly? What is the
no.
exact lyric?
That is the most mysterious lyric in the song.
It is the
It
lyric?
says, now Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife.
Does that mean you write novels that are about real estate?
What is a real
I'm Googling that too.
Or are you
Oh.
are you a real estate agent who writes in his spare time? That's the question I would have for Billy Joel is what the hell is a real estate novelist?
Oh, Billy Joel breaks down the real estate. Okay.
Billy Joel has actually responded to this.
He's answered that
Yeah.
question. Okay, good.
So many questions about this song. Look at that.
Can you tell me, can you find out what he says?
He says, it's a guy who is a real estate broker who's trying to write the great American novel.
He's a real estate novelist. So he's somebody who's in real estate but wants to be a novelist.
But on the side is a novelist.
Oh. It's weird. It's just a weird turn of phrase. I've always wondered, is there a special kind of novelist called a real estate novelist?
Yeah, it's a genre. You got to go to college for it.
It's real niche, right? Billy Joel says the theory's funny, but that was not what he had in mind when he was writing the song. So let's play this out. Let's play a little bit of Piano Man. And then imagine, this song is over 50 years old. It came out in 73. And imagine that he did explicitly make it about a gay bar.
Okay.
What might that sound like?
Okay.
Joanna gave me this idea, and I told you I was gonna slap it together and record it. I did. It took like 15 minutes, but I did it.
You did it.
Now Paul is a real estate novelist who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with David, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life.
All right. Good stuff. Now let's go gay.
Okay.
And Davy is friends with a cowboy, a cop and a construction guy. And they asked me and an Indian chief if we wanted to hang at the
I tip my hat to you, sir. That was Good.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did another verse too.
You did.
Yeah, do you want to hear
Buzz
another
is all
verse?
obsessed with this.
Okay.
Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gives me my drinks for free. He sits with me on my piano bench and places his hand on my knee.
Yeah, he does.
Wow. I'm glad I finally found out what a real estate novelist is. Nothing, just somebody who works in real estate but wants to write a novel.
The Great American Novel.
The Great American Novel. What's playing?
Is it Joanna in the back?
Oh, no. Play it from the beginning.
That is
play it from
the video.
Play it. I wasn't ready for it. This is Joanna at, where'd you have to go to see Billy Joel?
Here, right?
Phoenix.
Phoenix. He wasn't here. All right, let's take a break. We're going to come back. I'll get to phone calls that have been coming in this morning, and more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show's headed your way right after this.
While you're working away, we're working for you. Our job.
Drowning Pool, ages 21 and over. See Speaking Rock's Facebook for more info.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Enderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Coming back. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Important announcement. Starbucks brings back the pumpkin spice latte today. The earliest that they've ever rolled out the pumpkin spice.
This
Finally.
is
epic.
Epic.
Joanna, how many times do you get a pumpkin spice latte during the fall and winter?
Every chance I can.
Really?
You really love it.
Yeah, maybe like 3 times a year.
Yeah, like 3 times a year. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I can't get behind $9 for a cup of coffee, man.
Yeah.
Especially when there's a brand of coffee that's free. It's called radio station coffee. It's right down the hall.
True.
You know, and I can put as much sugar and cinnamon.
Joanna won't drink that, though.
Joanna will not drink the communal coffee pot from the communal coffee pot. That's true. That is like a snobbery that I think she picked up from Lisa Sanchez.
Yeah, I think so. Lisa kind of spoiled me.
Well, okay, Joanna.
Lisa would bring in like coffee.
To be fair, the coffee that we get at the station is not premium.
No,
quality.
It's fine. It's hot
fine.
and it has caffeine in it. That's all that matters.
No, sometimes it tastes like acid,
tastes a little bitter,
burnt, bitter. Yeah, sometimes it tastes bad.
We're using the same pot that we've been using for 20 years, and nobody's ever washed it a single time. And we use these microphone windsocks as the filter. So,
hey, can I let everybody know where I'm going to be this weekend?
You may.
Where are you going to be at?
Well, first though, let's let them know. There is an AfterBuzz today.
Yeah, there is an AfterBuzz today.
We are going to do an AfterBuzz. That is our twice weekly podcast. You know, I should really talk about Tuesday's AfterBuzz because we really butted heads during that one. It was an argument over what a Nepo baby is.
Yeah, Joanna.
But Nico, yesterday morning he was telling me about it, and he's all, Nico was livid.
Well, but I told you right after it happened, Joanna.
Yeah, you did.
And
you
about how
decided to
dense
use as an example of a Nepo baby, of all people, John David Washington, who is a really, really
And
talented
I told
actor.
you, that's definitely a Nepo
No,
baby.
Definitely a Nepo
But it
baby.
doesn't take away from the fact that he's a good actor.
Yeah, you just
Nepo
don't.
baby
You
you
don't understand the definition.
It's a dismissive term that implies that the person didn't earn what they have accomplished.
Nobody's saying that they're not good at what they had.
He's not a good actor.
But he definitely got introduced to Hollywood
But
through
had
his dad.
his father not been Denzel Washington, would he have had the
No,
same opportunity?
He wouldn't. Anyways,
a few doors might have been open.
I was trying
but he's
to.
a great actor. I think one day he'll be an Academy Award winner just like his father.
It has nothing to do with being
All
a
right.
nepo baby, though. Has nothing to do with being a nepo.
Then why do you have to? Why do you have to say it like a derogatory term?
What are you?
Why are you taking it as a derogatory
Why
term?
are you taking it so personally? Hey, I was going to let everybody know where I'm going to be this weekend.
where are you going to be?
I've got.
If you'd gotten into the pharmaceutical
two
business,
great
you would have been a nepo baby. Do you agree? Why do we only count it as a nepo baby if it's in the world of entertainment? Like if somebody takes over their dad's car dealership, why aren't they called a nepo baby? They are called
nepo babies.
Later on, we're going to do a deep dive into why you're taking this very personal.
I am?
Yes.
I don't know. It's kind of insulting.
It's not.
Interesting.
It's not insulting. It's just the definition of nepo.
I'm as far as a nepo person as possible. Like, you know, my dad managed a factory and my mom worked at a farm supply company. So, all right.
Where are you going to be at this weekend, Boo?
I've actually got a really great show I'm hosting with two headlining comedians, really like great stand-up comics. They're two of the best in El Paso. Otis Hicks and Anthony Bettis are going to be performing at Scenics on Friday. I'll be hosting, and that's going to start at 9:30. We're going to do that 9:30 to 10:30.
That's not the
and
open
then
mic?
The open mic will start after the show. So I'm going to be hosting for two of the best up-and-coming comedians probably in El Paso right now.
I
Otis
can
Hicks.
confirm that they are both very, very good comics.
Yeah, they're just amazing. Like 10 out of 10 stars.
Anthony's been in comedy longer than you have, though, hasn't he?
Anthony Bettis is the most senior comedian in
El Paso right now?
Right, yeah. He's been doing it since
Since
2008.
Patrick Candelaria passed away, probably. I mean, Patrick goes back to the old days.
Oh, yeah. But even then, he probably has more credits than Patrick did.
Okay. So they're gonna be professional comedians followed by the open mic Friday at Scenics.
That's true. And so I'll be hosting anybody who wants to see my stand-up or see some of the best stand-up in town. That's the place to do it.
Do you want to hear some of these calls? People are calling in, raining on the parade of earlier callers who said they were really inspired by some of the speeches last night at the Democratic National Convention. Is it fair that I hear the retort from people who were triggered by it? One guy called a dozen times. Same guy.
One guy.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, real quick, I just listened to your show this morning. You had a neckline caller call in and say, well, you know, after listening to Stevie Wonder, after listening to after listening to all these superstars come up and talk about Harris, yeah, I'm convinced there's no way I'm going to vote for Trump. And that's the point. The point is, you take your advice from movie stars. You take from Hollywood types.
Okay,
you had Hulk
Hogan rip his shirt off to introduce Donald Trump on stage. I don't think you get any kind of high ground here.
How about Kamala? When are we going to hear from Kamala Harris? When are we going to hear from her? You're hearing from all these other morons.
Tonight. I don't know if I would call Stevie Wonder a moron. I don't know if I'd call Oprah Winfrey a moron. She's a self-made billionaire.
When are we going to hear from Kamala Harris?
Tonight. By the way, one of the stories they have in the paper is all about Veronica Escobar, our congresswoman that represents El Paso, is going to be, let's see, she is presiding tonight when Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to formally accept the party's nomination. There's your answer. Kamala is going to speak tonight. Veronica, who, by the way, Veronica was one of the very first people I ever met in El Paso. Like when I moved here in 92.
Was she in radio?
No. In fact, I met her we used to go around to different bars, and bungee jumping was a huge thing to set up at bars.
Oh, that sounds scary.
Now, she didn't bungee jump, and I didn't bungee jump, but I don't know. I met her at one of these events, and we became friends. Anyway, Veronica, and I don't know what it means, she'll preside over the gathering. Is somebody kind of like the MC for the night? Escobar, who's seeking a fourth term, said she is very excited about her role tonight at the DNC.
Hey,
But listen, claiming, well, these celebrity idiots, you guys had a Hulk Hogan.
I know.
Who basically looked like what Donald Trump would look like now if he didn't wear makeup and took steroids, I think.
You got an email right now that was kind of interesting from Derek Terry, but I didn't get it. That's why I'm even more interested. Because he said,
isn't everyone kind of a Nepo hire? It's who you know that gets you in the front door. Nico is the biggest Nepo baby I know.
Not true.
Not true. His parents have not been supportive.
Not
at
true.
All. I mean, that's the truth, right? They have tried to dissuade you from this career path at every turn.
Yeah.
They want you to be a doctor.
Yes.
True?
Very true.
Not a secret, right?
Not a secret. And first of all, Buzz isn't related to me, and nobody who works here is related to me. That's the definition of nepotism.
Oh, I'm radio daddy.
He's your radio daddy.
No, he's not. I'm not going to ever go. Oh, God.
Just one time for me.
Radio daddy.
Thank you.
But like, I was working as a comic already before I ever, came out here and started hanging out.
You have been given a pretty easy ride here, though.
Well, while I've been working, but when I was coming on the show for free for freaking 6 years.
Is this your form of payback because they made you work for free for so long that you're just like getting it back 30 minutes late at a time?
Kind of, I guess, yeah.
Morning, Mo Show. Hey, Buzz. Hey, Nico. Hey, Joanna. As of last night, I am 150% convinced that Oprah is a vampire because I was like less than 10 years old and she had already been on TV a minute. And like she gets better with age. Like she's like reversed.
I don't know.
Oprah looked great. I actually heard when she was speaking, I heard that on the radio. And then I saw, she looks fantastic.
It is the Ozempic, though, right, Joanna?
Oh, for sure.
She's on Ozempic?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
she's
she admitted
famously.
it, I think.
This is about the guy that just called in watching the DN last night, saying that he was on the fence. Now he knows that who to choose. That he says that we most definitely need the Democrats in the party or in the House this year. Where has he been? The Democrats have been in there for the last 4 years, and everything's gone to shit. So he still doesn't know what he's talking about.
That is a narrative that the country has gone to crap, but really after the pandemic, which Joe Biden, the pandemic was still on when he was elected, the American economy has recovered better than any other economy in the world. We still have the strongest military in the world.
And record stock market, record,
we have
unemployment.
financially rebounded after the COVID than any other country in the world. I don't think anything's ever going to be perfect. And also, do you guys remember the Trump years? There was a border crisis going on all the time. There were caravans coming up from Mexico that Trump was taking kids away from their parents, and a
Donald
deeply
Trump
un-American
would send tweets to
Kim Jong-un
threatening him,
insulting him. When he wasn't, I don't know what was worse, when he would insult Kim Jong-un or when he cozied up and said that they were having a bromance or a love affair together.
It was 4 years of chaos.
It was absolute chaos, and it's just...
Yeah, they're trying to portray America now as this like post-apocalyptic world that we're all struggling to... It feels like people are living in two different worlds.
Remember, Trump was going to call the military out on protesters. Now, I know not every protest was 100% violence-free, but a lot of people were out there protesting lawfully, and he wanted to call in the National Guard. I got a theory. If you ask Trump about it, he'll say, I wanted the National Guard in D.C. on January 6th. And Nancy Pelosi controls the National Guard. You know why I think Muriel Bowser, who's the mayor of Washington, D.C., I think they thought in their mind Trump has a plan to turn the National Guard against the Capitol Police. Now, I don't know how that sounds to you, but every time Trump says they wouldn't call out the National Guard, I think they were afraid that Trump had some kind of plot in mind where he would order the
plot, you
National
say.
Guard to fight and disarm the Capitol Police.
Schemes,
but as far
you
as
say.
everything going to crap, I mean, all of our problems haven't been solved, but I don't think it's fair to say everything's gone to crap.
Remotely.
The CHIPS Act, finally getting it so that we're making these essential computer parts without having to rely on China. The caps on some prescription drugs has been a huge win. Biden's presidency, I think, is going to be judged as, in the top half of all U.S. presidencies. But here's really, let me see. Yeah, here's really where the MAGA crowd is. Some people were calling in and talking about how heartwarming it was when Tim Walz and his son Gus.
His son.
Right, heartwarming,
So
right?
heartwarming.
This is the MAGA take on it.
Another name for Tim dude's son's condition is called retarded.
Yeah, dude, I can't own you better
That's
than you just owned
terrible.
yourself. I mean, honestly, that's how you represent.
That is like a
Your
grown-ass
political.
man.
That's a grown-ass
Talking
man.
about a 17-year-old.
Talking about a 17-year-old who has nonverbal,
Right.
whatever it is. Yeah. You know what? Anything I say about you is not as bad as what you've just revealed about yourself to the entire world.
Correct.
Congratulations. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, Nico at Jimmy's next with news headlines.
Well, the family of Michigan Dean put into jail is now suing the judge. All the details next in news.
Find out what's going on. Quirky facts about our region. Urgent things you need to know impacting your drive. And of course, nothing but El Paso's best rock. Oh,
it was easy.
EasyCater is your all-in-one tech platform for ordering food for work. Start your order at easycater.com.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Before we get into news headlines, Joanna has a traffic report for us. Joanna, what's going on?
Well, there's a lot of congestion in the downtown area on I-10 heading westbound. A crash is blocking the right lane and backup extends past Brown, so you'll want to find an alternate route this morning. And expect delays as you head out again. That's I-10 west in the downtown area with backup past Brown. And parents of students at Franklin High School have already been informed, but if you didn't know, classes are canceled at Franklin High School this morning. A spokesperson for EPISD says there is an investigation happening on campus due to an incident, but there is a heavy police presence, so you'll still want to follow those school zone speed limits at Franklin High School. With your
right.
traffic, I'm Joanna Barber.
School canceled for today.
Classes
canceled at Franklin High School. An isolated incident that this just came over. They're not saying what the nature of it is. Maybe Nico can find out more coming up in news. We need to let you know what the Ghost song of the day is. We are honoring the band Ghost with a month, August.
August.
And every day we play one Ghost song, and when you hear that song, you want to be the 13th caller. You win the daily prize, which is a nice little prize. It's the Ghost movie soundtrack.
Yes.
But more importantly, you're going to be in a very small select group of finalists who have a chance to win an autographed Phantom and guitar. It comes in the Hagstrom Hag case, and it's autographed by Tobias Forge. The guitar and the case by themselves are an over $2,000 value. So I can tell you this much. The Ghost song of the day is going to be in the 2 p.m. hour today.
All right.
And it is Square Hammer.
Square Hammer.
Can you play a little Square Hammer
Yes.
so people know when they hear it? will be played in the 2 o'clock hour. Be listening for that. And I want to make sure you've got the right number. Don't call the neck line. Call the studio line. And you want to be calling number 13 when you hear that song. As studio line number is 915-910-4995. That's 910-4995 for the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Excuse me, for the Ghost Song of the Day. and for the Buzz Adams Morning Show, I guess. Let's get to our news.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. It's nice to see you all again.
Oh, my. Nico, if you don't have an update, I did just get something from EPISD via email. I can just repeat that, but there's not a lot of new information.
Well, one is dead at Franklin. No other information.
Wait, somebody's dead?
There was an officer-involved shooting, apparently.
An isolated, here's what the EPISD is officially saying. An isolated incident at Franklin High School has resulted in classes being canceled at Franklin High School today, Thursday, August 22nd. All other EPISD campuses remain open and resume a regular schedule. Student safety and security is always our top priority. EPISD says they'll share more information if it becomes available, but you have it from good sources that there was an officer-involved shooting?
Yes.
And one dead. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. What else is going on in the news today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, how about we talk more El Paso stories then?
Sure.
TxDOT is going to be closing part of I-10 East. That is at Red Road in West El Paso today. It's going to be from 9 tonight to 5 a.m. So just plan your night routes, I guess.
That stretch of road is a nightmare.
I know right now it's just the worst.
They've got it down to one lane. They don't have exits at they don't have an exit at Red. They don't have an exit at Artcraft. I mean, within the past few days, that might have changed, but I avoid that area of I-10 altogether if I can.
And in other news, health news for El Paso, following a national trend, syphilis cases in El Paso have been growing exponentially from 297 cases in 2019 to almost 1,000 in 2023.
Aren't there treatments for syphilis?
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be like a real killer back in the Middle Ages.
Yeah, it's not Capone style, and you're not going to get like. I mean, if you let it go untreated, it absolutely
can
will.
Cause like insanity and maybe
you
death.
get neurosyphilis. So when it comes to symptoms, it's usually going to be ulcers in that area. And
haven't you had an ulcer recently? Oh, that's a hernia.
And not on my gooch or anywhere near it.
Okay.
And then it's going to spread throughout your body like a rash.
But it's going to start in the gooch region, though.
It will start in your gooch region. And
some people know that by its medical term, the grundle.
Yeah. And I'm not saying the gooch or grundle as the specific place of infection. I'm just saying that area for guys and girls to just your genital. I don't know, genitals.
Genitals.
Thanks.
Keep an eye on your genitals.
Yeah, keep an eye on your genitals. It's bacterial, and like you said, it could go to your brain and cause you to go crazy.
But they can give you a shot and clear
easy
it up?
shot of penicillin still does the job. And El Paso is going to be settling a lawsuit with the Department of Justice after, I guess, the city of El Paso improperly auctioned off 170 soldiers' vehicles.
Why? They got repossessed or something?
Well, I guess they were either they were impounded and then put into auctions. Now, two companies that did that, the impounding, they're being sued as well, that they were contracted by the city of El Paso. That would suck if you're a soldier and you're just like, where's my car?
Yeah, but it sounds like it's the kind of thing that could happen to people regardless of whether they're a soldier or not. If your car gets impounded, and,
Right.
But if they did it improperly, yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, they're going to have to settle. All right, in national news, the news continued to spread yesterday that independent presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is considering dropping out of the race and endorsing former President Donald Trump. His running mate Nicole Shanahan said on a podcast at the start of the week that discussions between her and RFK were happening, and yesterday 2 sources told NBC News that the idea has progressed from talks to plans. The expectation is that RFK Jr. will announce his decision by the end of the week. When asked at a campaign stop yesterday in North Carolina if Donald Trump was promising a cabinet position to RFK, Senator J.D. Vance said, not necessarily.
I think clearly Donald Trump is not going to say, I'll give you a cabinet position if you give me an endorsement. It's about welcoming a lot of those Democrats who feel abandoned by the party of Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
Well, he's right. We know that Donald Trump hands out cabinet positions based on how much money you donate.
Yeah, good point. Rex Tillerson.
Well, Rex Tillerson, but also the lady whose family is behind Amway. Betsy DeVos, the DeVos family, basically were the titans of pyramid schemes.
Yes,
and
is
she
true.
donated enough money that she got to be Secretary of Education for 4 years.
I don't think RFK Jr. represents any disaffected Democrats. And I think it's very telling that he's willing to flip-flop by asking Kamala Harris to campaign, hey, I'll endorse you if you give me a cabinet position. Hey, Donald Trump, I'll endorse you. That you stand for nothing, sir.
Yeah, right. So there's a report that he had tried to reach out to Kamala Harris to angle for a cabinet position if she's elected, and we're hearing these reports that he's doing the same thing with Trump. That says a lot negative, I think, about Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah.
That you just want to leverage this. He didn't even get on the ballot in most of the states.
I know.
And you're going to try and leverage this, and you don't care which administration gives you a position?
Right. Yeah, slimy. Also,
ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
I wonder who said that.
A better Kennedy than RFK Jr.
Well, after he put a 15-year-old girl in handcuffs and made her wear jail clothes in a Detroit courtroom after she fell asleep during a field trip, District Judge Kenneth King has been removed from the court docket to undergo training. Do you remember this story?
Yeah, that was the story, was that he had he'd cuffed her, threatened her with going to jail because she fell asleep on a field trip to his courtroom.
But remember, she said she had been...
her mother said that they had been experiencing homelessness, and the night before they had had difficulty finding someplace to spend the night.
So that's why she was probably tired. Well, now he has another problem. The family of the girl has filed a lawsuit against him in U.S. District Court in Michigan, accusing him of malicious prosecution, false arrest, false imprisonment, and other allegations. The judge told the press that what he did was designed to get through to her because he didn't like the girl's attitude. The suit is seeking compensation for mental anguish, humiliation, and medical treatment. And Buzz.
Yes.
Pay attention to this. Taking care of your teeth makes you dumber.
What?
That sounds like a ridiculous statement, but a U.S. government report is saying, with moderate confidence, that there is a link between fluoride in drinking water at twice the recommended level and lower IQs in children.
Wait a second. So this is an anti-fluoride story?
That suggests
that's conspiracy. That sounds very conspiratorial.
Anti-fluoride suggests that there's vested interest in this, and I don't think there is. I think they're just saying that if your drinking water has twice the amount of recommended fluoride, they notice IQs are lower.
You know what we have in El Paso water that not every city has?
Lithium.
Yeah, lithium. We're not the only place that has naturally occurring lithium, but we are one of them.
Oh, I thought you meant the Nirvana song.
No, I'm talking about the mood stabilizing drug.
Right?
Good.
I'm picking up on things.
Supposedly, that's why you don't usually see fights at bars in El Paso. Every place else that I've ever lived.
What are you talking about?
Are you insane?
Drink
some of that lithium water. All right.
I've seen
This is why
many
there's
fights.
so many fights, because everyone's drinking bottled water.
I have seen a handful of fights break out in a bar. And in other cities, it was just every night. There were fights. It was like the original Roadhouse. It wasn't like that, but it wasn't exactly like that.
When's the last time you've been to a bar and socially?
A long time. No, but I mean, I've lived in enough cities to have a comparison here, and for the most part, everybody's pretty peaceful in El Paso, and some people say it's because of the lithium.
I think, no, your story was about violent crime, like murders and other things.
My story was, but also I have personally witnessed that people don't. Look, man, I've seen fights in other cities, Dallas, Oklahoma City. I lived in Tulsa for a while. Oklahoma City was the worst. Somebody bumps somebody accidentally and fists are flying before you know it. And I've never seen something like that happen in El Paso.
I saw a guy take a machete out of his car and then start hacking the door we were at. I mean, I don't know what.
I don't go to any bars anywhere except on the west side. So,
okay.
Maybe you're going to rougher places than I am, but that's my observance.
Do you want to hear the rest about the fluoride?
Yeah.
Fluoride strengthens and reduces cavities in your teeth, but the report from the National Toxicology Program concludes that drinking water with more than 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter is consistently tied to lower IQs in kids. The American Dental Association is getting into the fight, saying they're going to be
pro-fluoride, I would imagine.
They're like, we're still reviewing the data.
I always thought that was a pretty crazy conspiracy that fluoride was bad for your cognitive health.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But you're doing it in like a regular non-conspiratorial newscast, right?
Non-conspiratorial.
I mean, these are from mainstream sources?
Yes, this is from mainstream sources. And some people will go to extraordinary lengths to get out of paying for their child support. Have you ever dreamed of faking your own death and disappearing to do so? A Kentucky man decided it was time to do exactly that. But he picked a unique way to try it that wound up getting him a prison sentence. Jesse Kipf was facing a buildup of child support payments. So in January of 2023, he hacked into Hawaii's death registry using the login credentials of a doctor living in another state, created a case for his own death, and completed a worksheet for a Hawaii death certificate. It worked. Kipf was registered as a deceased person in several government databases. He was still caught, and this week he was sentenced to 9 years in prison and ordered to pay over $200,000 in restitution for damage to computer systems, plus the child support he was trying to avoid.
You know, I've met so many single mothers or divorced mothers in El Paso, and if the topic of child support ever comes up, so many of them say, yeah, I never got one dime of child support. I don't know how that works, because I got divorced. We had a young daughter, and they just take it right out of your paycheck before you ever get any say-so about it.
Oh, you have
but every single mom that I've either known on a friendly basis or dated seem to have the story, nah, my baby's daddy never paid one dime.
Baby daddy.
How do you do that?
Buzz, how? Seriously.
I think you got to be...
Well, I'm off the hook next summer.
I think you still have to do it till
they turn 18. No, until they're out of high school. I thought the 18th birthday, which is like a month away, I was going to be free.
Yeah, they have to be out of high school. Yeah,
obviously, I'm a responsible parent. I would pay to support my child voluntarily, but the way it's set up is you get the paycheck, that money's already gone.
All right, moving on.
God, I'm going to be rich in a year.
Even more rich? That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Even more. We need to take a break. We'll
do.
come back and do some more stories. Well, I'm responding when you tell me to do something.
We're just laughing about it.
Let's check Late Night Roundup. This is something Joanna does because she shows up early for work, Nico, and puts together the Late Night Roundup of highlights and funniest moments from late night television. Here we go.
The world's oldest known living person has died in Spain at the age of 117. Guys, always test your cocaine. According to a new survey, 36% of dog owners said that their pet acts as a psychologist, mostly because their cat won't accept their insurance.
Hey, it's Chuck, your host for Loudwire Nights. Tonight at 7, we will rock the borderland with the best rock ever made and the best rock being made. Special guests, birthday and anniversary celebrations, and every night at 10...
More with yours. Necessitated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Oh, guess who this is? Buzz Adams and the KLAQ Morning Show.
You must be the greatest radio show host ever.
Buzz is back.
Today is National Tooth Fairy Day, a day to mark the milestone of little ones losing their baby teeth.
My tooth is gone. I am going to ask the Tooth Fairy.
Give me your teeth. The Tooth Fairy.
You are hereby ordered to serve time as a tooth fairy.
You can't handle the tooth.
Who are you?
I'm the Tooth Fairy.
We're gonna see the Tooth Fairy tonight.
Happy National Tooth Fairy Day. This day is celebrated on August 22nd of every year, and for some reason also on February 28th of every year. That's because the American Dental Association recommends that people get their teeth cleaned every 6 months.
But not with fluoride or you'll get dumb.
The American Dental Association says they are monitoring that research to find out if it's true. I'm going to throw this out there, and I think most kids are in school, but especially little kids. We're going to have a little grown-up talk here real quick.
Okay.
I think the Tooth Fairy is like the legendary character that you stop believing in first. Like, you don't want to run the risk of pissing off Santa when you're a kid, but the Tooth Fairy is just a little hard to believe. Agree? Like, what was the first fictional character from your childhood that you were skeptical about?
I mean, the Easter Bunny seemed like a weird one.
The Easter Bunny scared me.
Like, does he have hands? How does he make the baskets?
Why is he so big?
Yeah.
I mean, if
Bunny
you piss off
shouldn't
the
get
tooth,
that
if the
big.
Tooth
Is
Fairy
it like the Cadbury egg bunny?
If the Tooth Fairy turns out to be real, I mean, how much were you really going to get out of that guy anyway, or girl? I don't know if the Tooth Fairy is a guy or a woman. You know, what do they leave you, a buck or two?
The Tooth Fairy was a mouse in my house.
The Tooth Fairy was a mouse?
Yeah, they always told me it was a mouse.
Had you ever heard of anybody else who had that tradition?
No.
I mean,
But then after a while,
you're only going to lose a certain number of teeth, and you're only going to get a buck or so.
Other people were like, oh, the Tooth Fairy left me this. And then I'm like, what the hell's the Tooth Fairy? I've got a tooth mouse.
Ew, that'd be even more unhygienic.
And then I had a lot of questions for my parents.
Yeah.
I mean, the Tooth Fairy alone is pretty unhygienic. I mean, she's taking teeth. They have plaques.
Who else's teeth is she mixing up with mine?
Right.
What does
Did
she
wash
doing?
her hands?
What does she do with the teeth? Why are you collecting teeth like a serial killer?
Yes,
My
trophies.
My sister was doing that with my nephews, and I'm all, ew, stop it.
Trophies from my
She's all
victim.
like, I don't know what to do with them.
Throw them away.
I know, I'm all gross.
Hey, I've got the paper because I'm the last person to still
Wait,
get a subscription.
am I doing news or am I done?
No, I'm
we
going to
still
throw it back
talking
to
about the
news.
Tooth Fairy?
I'm going to throw it back to news.
Anybody else talk about a tooth mouse? Let me know.
I just wanted to share some
That's
stories
a new
out
one.
of today's paper. They've got a big write-up about marijuana dispensaries in Sunland Park in the front page today. And it's been 2 years since they legalized recreational marijuana in New Mexico. Sunland Park is doing gangbusters. And the state of New Mexico has hit the $1 billion mark. Since recreational cannabis became the law in April of 2022, New Mexico has generated more than $1.26 billion from the booming industry. And they go into how Sunland Park is, not a heavily populated area, but it's right next to a couple of heavily populated areas. They were having another grand opening. I was driving by, minding my own business, and whenever a new place opens over there, It's like they got a street party going on.
Ooh.
Music is pumping. This place that was opening is called Cookies.
Oh, okay.
And it opened right there on the Green Mile. Or Little Amsterdam, as some people call it.
Yeah.
Anyway. Also, the
Buzz is like, anyways.
The El Paso man
Field trip
convicted
later.
in the Capitol attack has been sentenced to La Tuna, which is I guess that's a pretty good deal. You know, I think he's got a sentence of 2 years and 9 months. And at least he gets to serve it close to the town he's from. You know, make visitation a lot easier than if they put him in Oregon or someplace. David Rene Arredondo, 48, will serve his 2-year, 9-month sentence at La Tuna, a low-level correctional institute in Anthony.
And a delicious fish.
Tuna?
Yeah.
You like La Tuna?
I love La Tuna.
I don't know nothing about prisons, but what I've heard from people who say is that you could do a lot worse than La Tuna. He was convicted. He pled guilty, actually, to 8 federal charges as part of a plea agreement. Civil disorder, assaulting, resisting, or impeding certain officers, and going into the Capitol to try and stop the certification of Joe Biden's electoral win. During the riot, Arredondo pushed a bike rack fence against Capitol police officers who were trying to keep the mob, yes, they're a mob, from entering the Capitol. He's seen grabbing the arm of a police officer who was surrounded by a mob of rioters. Arredondo is the only El Pasoan arrested in connection with the riot, according to the U.S. Attorney's Office database. And
Give me that crinkle. Yes.
Do you get like an ASMR
Buzz
thing
is
off of there?
reading the newspaper now.
I know, he's just...
He's going to give us a crinkle of it. Thank you.
Border Patrol.
Also, we found out the rat thing is a Mexican tradition.
The mouse tooth fairy thing?
El ratón de los dientes. El ratoncito.
Tooth rat.
There's a rat.
Guys, they need to make a movie about
that Ratatouille would be awesome.
Just taking teeth.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone who's telling me, yeah.
Border Patrol arrested 2 Mexican bus drivers who were trying to smuggle 92,900 rounds of ammunition into Mexico at the Bridge of the Americas. So here's the way it works. Contraband coming into the United States is usually in the form of drugs or people. Contraband from the United States going into Mexico is often weapons and ammunition. The contraband discovered is almost triple the amount of ammunition the U.S. Customs and Border Protection sees in a year, or in the last 3 years combined. So these guys had a lot of ammo. There's a picture of it, Nico. 92,900 rounds of ammunition.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
I don't know if anybody stops you if you're bringing bullets back from Mexico. I've never heard of that happening, but all right. What else did you have in the news, buddy?
Back to you, Nico.
Some people like the perusing the paper segment.
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, it's great. Great non sequitur. In Germany, the tooth fairy is a mouse named Zanfi.
They got a German tooth mouse?
Yeah, but in Italy, the tooth fairy is called Fatina dei Denti, a small blonde fairy with a pink dress.
All right.
All right, back to news.
The tooth fairies in Hellboy 2 are scary as hell.
Although they were.
They come and take your teeth out of your head whether you want them to or not.
Yeah, those were very scary. All right, so a Fed rate cut is likely in September. That's according to the minutes from the Fed Reserve's meeting last month. The vast majority of those at the meeting observed that if inflation cools, then a cut to rates is very probable next month. The rate cut would be the first since the early days of the COVID pandemic. According to the minutes, investors are very confident about the direction of inflation. And that was just for you, Buzz. I know how much you love financial stories. Reports say divers are recovering the bodies of 5 of the 6 missing passengers from the luxury yacht that sank off the coast of Sicily. The head of Sicily's Civil Protection Agency confirmed. The boat capsized during a storm Monday with 22 passengers and crew on board. The identities of the recovered bodies have not been disclosed. But among the missing are British tech tycoon Mike Lynch and Morgan Stanley International chairman Jonathan Bloomer. Ugh.
Yeah, so the British guy is a billionaire, and I wouldn't be surprised if the Morgan Stanley guy, I mean, if he's not a billionaire, he's extremely wealthy.
Right, very wealthy.
So, you know, they're missing. You got to assume they were probably the bodies recovered.
Mm-hmm. Rotten Tomatoes is launching a new verified hot badge for fan favorite films. While the existing certified fresh Tomatometer badge is given to films praised by the critics, verified hot will be given to movies with audience scores of 90% or higher. The website is celebrating the first films to receive the badge, including summer hits Deadpool and Wolverine, Twisters, and Bad Boys: Ride or Die.
Mm-hmm. Those are not the critics' selections, I'm going to guess.
No, they're... but that's for people who are the opposite of you, who, like, people who don't just go by what the critics are saying and might end up liking the movie.
I like Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, but
I'm not proud of it, but I liked it.
You often use the critics'
right, you don't
view.
even pay
There
attention
are
to
a
the
lot of
audience
examples of movies that critics love that I just did not. I'll give you 3 from recent years. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. I didn't get it. Mm-hmm. Poor Things just creeps me the hell out.
I didn't even finish that.
Baby banging.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this hot baby. Everybody try and have sex with her.
Why did everybody want to have sex with that baby?
And what's another example? Oh, Parasite. Everybody loved Parasite.
You didn't like Parasite? Is it because you related too much? Because at the time, you also had a parasite named Nico.
I knew he was living there. He wasn't hiding in a secret room.
Wait, but Parasite wasn't about... isn't that the one about the Korean one?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it about the financial... Something about finance or something?
It's about poor people who kind of move into rich people's houses and take over.
Yeah, so that's what it's whole family... like disguises themselves as like the chauffeur, the nanny, the tutor, things like that. And then they find out
there's another
else
family that had been running the same scam and they're hiding in a secret room.
In the basement.
Oh, yeah.
And they all thought that the kid was crazy because he's like, there's a ghost. And it was just the man that lived in the basement.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah,
so
totally.
those were critically acclaimed movies. I'm not in lockstep with what the critics say. Even the critics don't agree on everything. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, the way that people love that movie.
I've never seen it.
I won an Academy Award, right? Won a few. All right, what else, Nico?
Human beings age faster at 2 points in their lives, according to scientists, and it makes middle age not so fun. A new study by Stanford University showed that humans have 2 fast bursts of aging at the molecular level. And
what years are they? Tell me they're behind me.
No, they're not.
Because I can't stand any more bad news.
The 2 levels where you start to age really fast.
Have I not even hit them yet?
You've hit the first one. 44 is the first one. And then again at 60. Research showed that aging happens this way rather than in a consistent linear fashion. At those 2 ages, the ability to metabolize caffeine and alcohol notably decreases, and they see more muscle injuries and fat accumulation.
I can confirm that was the case with me when I turned 44.
Authorities
I've got a few years to go until the second.
Yeah.
A few.
A couple.
A few.
I'm sorry. Authorities are looking for a woman who climbed over a fence into a tiger enclosure at the New Jersey Zoo. Video shows the woman approaching the tiger at the Cohanzick Zoo in Bridgeton and then sticking her hand through the fence. Naturally, the tiger wanted a taste. And guess what happened?
The tiger's like, appetizer. What happened?
The woman was lucky enough to pull her hand away right in time. Police reviewed the footage and now want to speak to the woman. A similar incident happened in the Bronx Zoo in New York when a woman climbed into the lion enclosure and appeared to taunt the animal. And another one happened here in El Paso.
With the hot Cheetos?
With the hot Cheeto.
Don't try and touch the animals at a zoo.
Don't.
Do they have any
at all?
Unless it's a petting zoo, I guess.
Yeah. And finally, a Florida native. Okay, I can't get through this story.
What?
Okay.
Do you need the Florida Man theme song?
Yeah, let's get a Florida Man theme song going. I don't have it. Okay, never mind. A Florida native tried to smuggle a gold-plated gun into Australia and have found themselves in hot water.
Oh.
Okay.
Liana Goodson tried to say she didn't remember packing the weapon.
So she didn't take it in her carry-on?
I guess not.
You can transport a gun.
Not to Australia.
Maybe not to Australia, but in the United States, you can as long as you check
cannot
it.
check a gun into your luggage in Australia. She says she just didn't remember packing, but they looked up her Google search history, and she Googled how to bring gun into Australia.
That kind of argues against her just slipping her mind, right?
Yes. It gets better, though. In case you don't know, the Aussies have a very tight clamp on guns. So this was...
They had a huge...
buyback program.
Well, they had a huge shooting...
Right.
In Australia, and they pretty much unanimously across the board became a no-gun country almost overnight.
So this was a huge mistake on her part. Okay, but it gets better.
Okay.
Goodson, who also brought a cat spine, squirrel feet, and rabbit urine with them, was headed to Clown College in Sydney to study there.
She was on her way to Clown College?
Yeah.
Did you say a cat spine?
A taxidermied cat spine.
Squirrel feet.
And rabbit urine.
What?
And a gold-plated gun.
Yes, on her way to Clown College in Sydney.
Yeah. Cue the music.
She sounds like a lady with a dream. A dream to be the weirdest clown in the history of Australia.
No, it gets better.
No way.
When she pled guilty in court in front of the judge, Liliana...
Did she show up in costume?
She did a backflip.
She was like, I learned this.
Did a backflip.
Okay.
Goodson...
Nico.
Goodson has since failed to get into clown school.
Oh, no.
You know, it's one thing. Hey, listen. It's one thing not to get into Harvard or Penn State or something, but when you can't get into Clown College.
Sydney Clown College. So she's eyeing a career in acting.
She's pivoting now.
With the news,
Nico. Great about that story. All right, thank you. Let's take a break. We're going to come back here in just a few minutes. Much more of the Buzz Adams Morning Show, including a true crime report ahead, and we'll let you know what the ghost song of the day is going to be and what hour it's going to be played in. And I've got tickets for Sunday's concert with Lamb of God and Mastodon, special guest Carrie King of Slayer, and Malevolence. That is Sunday night at the County Coliseum. We have ticket giveaways today and tomorrow morning on the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show, Glenn Garza and Daniel Paulus.
Williams Store. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
Joanna, do we have to break again before the top of the hour?
We do.
Then we should probably just take care of business, right?
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Lamb of God tickets in just a second. And the ghost song of the day. Every day during the month of August, we designate one song by the band Ghost as our ghost song of the day. And I'll tell you what hour it's going to be played in, what song it is, and Joanna will play a little bit of it, so you'll know it when you hear it. What you want to do is call in when you hear this song in the 2 p.m. hour today. And if you're caller 13 on the studio line, that number is 915-910-4995. We have a real nice prize for you. You win the Ghost movie soundtrack right here, right now. But more importantly, you're going to be one of our finalists. We do not have many finalists, just 22. At the end of August, we're going to give away an autographed guitar signed by Tobias Forge. So in the 2 o'clock hour, the song today is going to be Square Hammer. Here's Joanna to play a little bit of Square Hammer by Ghost. 2 o'clock hour, you're going to hear Square Hammer from Ghost. Caller 13 wins the daily prize, the movie soundtrack, and you will have a 1 in 22 chance of winning the autographed Phantom and guitar from Hagstrom, courtesy of Concord Records. Joanna, there's one topic that came up on the show that we have gotten the most phone calls about.
Oh, the piano man at the gay bar?
See? Piano, whether or not Billy Joel's Piano Man is set in a gay bar or not.
Is that what we've received the most calls about?
No.
Oh, no.
Guess again.
Ratatouille?
Ratatouille?
Hey, good morning, Mo Show. You guys are talking about the Tooth Fairy and Santa, so thanks for ruining my childhood. I thought they were still real. But on a for real note, as far as what Joanna was saying about the Tooth Fairy being a mouse, that's how I grew up too, believing it was a mouse. And quick little story, my mom used to tell me that growing up, my dad would put mouse traps around the house to try and, get rid of the rodents in the house. And one day I saw him putting the traps. And when I saw him laying down the traps, my mom said I actually started crying. And she asked, "Why are you crying?" And I said, I told her, I guess, well, because my dad's trying to kill the Tooth Fairy, so who's going to take my teeth and give me money? I thought it was, I'm listening to it now, it's kind of funny.
It is funny.
Us as kids, we have the greatest imagination. So I bet if you tell your kids at a young age, the Tooth Fairy's a crocodile, they'll just go with that. It's just keeping the magic alive.
Yeah.
Keeping the dream real for them that makes it
okay.
Doesn't matter what it is.
A lot of people had a lot of opinions.
Hey, give me your tooth, Holmes.
In Mexican culture, the Tooth Fairy is often described as a mouse. It wasn't just in Joanna's house.
They say raton.
El raton.
A rat. That's a rat.
Oh, that's a rat, right?
Yeah.
And Derek Terry, the king of emailers, he doesn't leave neckline messages. He says, "Come on, guys, Mexican rodent Tooth Fairy, Ratatouille."
Yeah, Ratatouille is pretty good.
Ratatouille.
I think Ratatouille probably.
Somebody else said Ratatouille, and that's a pretty good one.
Yeah, a lot of people in the app chat are saying the same thing, that they grew up with a rat or a
Hey,
mouse.
morning, guys. I'm calling in about the Joanna's mouse situation. Yeah, that actually is a Mexican thing. I have a huge Mexican family down in Mexico. And yeah, it's El Raton. I don't know if just Mexican people, if it was either lack of imagination or a Tooth Fairy being too a far-fetched idea. But yeah, the idea was that, and over there they don't have bills. So it was a mouse coming in to get, a tooth, which is small.
They don't have what?
They don't have what? I didn't catch what he said either.
I feel like that was a crucial piece of the story.
Was that, and over there they don't have bills.
They don't have bills? bills?
Oh, like I guess the dollars. It's more like pesos.
They don't have paper
coins.
money?
No, they do. Yeah.
Oh. It was a mouse coming in to get a tooth, which is small, and they would actually leave coins. More, I guess, believable that it could actually carry a coin and leave it there. So yeah, in Mexico, mouses go shopping for teeth, which, I don't know which one's more far-fetched, a magical creature getting your teeth and leaving you money, or a mouse going shopping for teeth. You guys tell me. All right, thanks, bye.
So the mouse is giving payment.
Yes, like,
for the
thank
teeth.
you for this tooth. I'm leaving you a payment.
Was he trained? What dental school did he go to? The tooth fairy has magic to explain the way she gets teeth out. The rat is just doing the hard work.
I like the Mexican version. It's more grounded in reality.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up with.
Hey, Buzz, I must respectfully disagree with you on that one about the tooth fairy, man. Them kids love the tooth fairy. That's cold hard cash. They're even wanting to put out good teeth for cash. You know what I mean? I still love the tooth fairy. Sometimes I wish I could pull my teeth out and get a few bucks. Plus, with inflation, tooth fairy brings $5, $10, $20. I know in your days it was like a nickel or a dime or a quarter. My day it was $1 or $2. Now it's $5, $10, $20, man. Anyways, have a good day, guys. Love y'all.
Yeah, I don't remember what the amount was, but maybe $1.
For me, it was $1.
It seemed like a lot of money.
And I was like, whoa.
I mean, you can buy a comic book and candy for that. No, I didn't say that kids don't like the tooth fairy. I'm just saying that when you start to doubt some of these stories, the tooth fairy might be the first one to go out the window. I think you keep the belief in Santa Claus.
Yeah, right.
Because that's a real windfall,
But the tooth fairy quickly falls apart.
What is up, Mo Show? How you guys doing? It's Wrestler Guy. Dude, that is so really cool that Lamb of God is coming back to El Paso, man. I've been a fan of those guys for quite some time. And honestly, one of the inspirations for when I was younger, like in my teenage years, to do heavy metal vocals like that. Sadly, I can no longer do those vocals. Was in a metal band, held a little growl, I guess is how we call it, a little too long, and messed up my vocal cords.
Blew out your vocal cords.
But, it's pretty cool to still, hear Randy, given his age and all that stuff. He's still able to be like, "Saw the road of the failure, it's too bad." You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. All right, you guys, have a good one. Love you guys.
Hey, now you still got it, Wrestler Guy. Wrestler Guy called the other day when I played the isolated vocal tracks from Randy Blythe. Mm-hmm. So here's a well-known Lamb of God song, Laid to Rest. Here is the isolated vocal. Yeah, the fact that Randy Blythe is closing in on 60 and he's still able to do it.
What?
Steven Tyler can't do it anymore. Steven Tyler,
oh my God.
Aerosmith had to quit being a band because his vocal cords eventually just blew out.
Smother another failure. Lay this to rest. Console yourself. You're better alone. Destroy yourself.
Wrestler Guy did a great job.
Lay this to rest. You know what I mean? That's pretty cool.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I want to hear a little more.
Smother of the failure. Lay this to rest.
Well, Wrestler Guy, if you want to call in now, you've got as good a chance of anybody else to win tickets. Let's make it caller number 10. We'll make it real simple. Show is Sunday at the County Coliseum. Caller number 10 on the studio line wins tickets this morning. It's 915-910-4995. That's 915-910-4995. Caller 10, you got the tickets for Sunday night show. Take a break. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show, including a true crime report on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Daniel Paulus. I'll be along starting at 3 with everything from GNR to STP.
Doesn't required. 10K5 acquisition fee. No payments for 90 days. See dealer for details. Subject to credit approval.
The Buzz Adams Morning Show, Monday through Friday, 5 to 10. KLAQ and KLAQ HD1, El Paso, a Town Square media station.
Tooth Fairy stories continue to roll in. Today is National Tooth Fairy Day, guys.
Somebody made me think of this. Ghost must be into tooth fairies.
How come?
Rats.
Rats. Coming to get your teeth.
Also,
somebody needs to tell Donald Trump that Mexican rats are coming and stealing American kids' teeth. I haven't heard him
They're
bring it up
sending
once.
all the worst, all the rats.
They're not sending their good mice like Stuart Little or Ratatouille. They're sending very, very bad rats.
Murders.
And they're stealing America. They steal Americans' teeth.
That was real good, yeah.
Here's another story.
So you were talking about the tooth fairy and kids stopping believing in it. My son, 8 years old, lost a tooth recently and tried playing some tricks on us, like hit it for a few days to see if we wouldn't figure it out and stuff like that. And so my wife told him that the tooth fairy was still real. But then we decided, okay, let's take him out to dinner and tell him the truth about it. And so we sat him down and we were like, son, and my mom and my wife says, I'm the tooth fairy, so I'm the one that takes care of it for you. And he's like, oh, that makes sense. But how do you visit all the other kids at night, too? Because there are so many kids that have teeth. So he thought that she was, like, the only tooth fairy, and that's how it's working out. So he still believes in it, and he thinks it's his mom.
Right.
Adorable.
She
That's so
leaves
sweet.
at night to travel the world by magic.
And his concern is, how do you get all the other kids? Oh.
His concern would be, is that money out of our pocket? Or is that magic money? How does that happen?
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
It is time for our true crime report. Actual crime stories from around the world, across the nation.
Stop breaking the law. Oh!
We have a lot of stories today to get to, so let's just jump right into it. And some of these have audio, too. A 55-year-old Florida man has been arrested for impersonating a pizzeria. 55-year-old Jose Marti Alvarez is facing a felony charge after he was caught impersonating a pizzeria. It was a bizarre scheme.
Yeah, how do you impersonate a business?
Okay, according to the Florida News, he would go to hotels and distribute fake flyers, pretending to be a real pizzeria that actually existed. Only the flyers would have his number, so he would take the orders,
sneaky.
the pizzas, and deliver them. But they were fraudulent. Once you open the box, they were cheaply made, bad pizzas.
No pizzas?
Now, there was something in there. In fact, the owner of the actual place said that he'd heard stories about they open it up and it's just like raw dough. And by the time they figure it out, he's already got the money and take it off.
But where is he getting the raw dough from?
I guess he's buying the supplies.
I mean, that's
to run...
a cost for any business. That's a...
Nico.
Well, here is the real owner of Roman's Pizzeria. His name is Jesus Roman, and he is talking about this guy, Jose Marti Alvarez, who was impersonating his restaurant. And listen to how he describes it.
Bad, uncooked. Sometimes they said in the box is a piece of raw dough. And they just give it to them, and they just, by the time they realize it, they're gone already. When the manager went to confront him in the parking lot, he tried to get away, he almost hit him.
Maybe he was selling it as like, no, it's cook your own pizza.
This is artisanal. You're supposed to culture your own dough.
It's part of the raw food movement. That's the pizza.
Do you remember on Succession, there was one episode where it was the dad's birthday and his son, played by Cameron from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, gave him a jar of dough.
Yeah, it was a sourdough starter.
It was a sourdough starter.
And he had no idea what to do with it.
Well, the fraudulent pizza guy, Jose, has been doing this for years before the real pizza joint figured out what was going on, and they had police track the guy down. They had been getting strange complaints and bad reviews and couldn't figure out how because they took pride in their work. The fraudulent pizza guy, Jose Marti Alvarez, was charged with organized scheme to defraud, along with an aggravated battery charge after hitting a staff member who tried to stop him when he got in his vehicle. A 36-year-old man in South Carolina went into a candy store demanding a refund and pulled a gun on the people working in the candy store. The store in Myrtle Beach is called Sugar Life. They did not want to accept his return. The store says they make their return policy clear. Who's going to want candy that you already took home? The man is 36-year-old Joshua Kim. He did not understand this concept, so he got heated with the employees and pulled out a gun on him.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
He pointed the gun at two candy store employees and threatened to, quote, put a chunk in their heads.
Maybe he was just feeling bitter.
A little sour.
Yeah, a little sour. Not sweet.
He wanted his money back. There were families in the store when the man pulled the gun stunt, including children. It sounds like Joshua got his money and left without discharging the gun.
Oh, thank God. Otherwise, it could have been a gusher.
But the employees called police. They tracked the man down later that night and arrested him. In addition to pulling the gun on the employees, they also found cocaine and marijuana in his truck.
Oh, so a little powdered sugar.
Hey, I thought this was a nose candy store. Police say that the man was also involved in a related incident, but did not specify what that was. A 73-year-old driver in Michigan crashed into the back of a police car while eating chicken wings behind the wheel. He was given a citation for distracted driving. I've eaten a lot of stuff behind the wheel of a car, especially on a long trip. I just want to make time, So I'll stop and get something. I would eat wings, I guess, out on the open, like on an interstate.
Yeah.
It would be messy, though.
Nothing that needs a fork or a knife. Like,
burgers fine, burritos fine. Chicken wings, I don't know, because I'm going to want ranch on them. And then you're bringing a lot of different sauces into the mix.
Then that becomes a problem.
Yeah.
A Michigan state trooper was sitting at a red light in his patrol car when the 73-year-old man crashed into the back of him. The cars sustained only minor damage, and the cop wasn't hurt, and the guy wasn't hurt, but the police officer cited the man for distracted driving because of those chicken wings. Michigan State Police put out a statement saying it's important to remember to focus on driving while behind the wheel. Driving distracted, in this case, eating wings, is a risky driving behavior that leads to preventable crashes. Can you think of what would be the worst food to eat while probably soup? Like hot soup.
Hot soup is the
would
worst.
Be a very bad choice.
Unless you have it in like a thermos.
Ugh, I couldn't.
Cereal. Cereal's the worst.
Cereal would be terrible.
There's an entire episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where Dennis is in his Range Rover eating cereal, and Danny DeVito rear ends him in another car, and the cereal gets everywhere. And they have an entire trial to see who's at fault.
Just an impromptu trial?
No, they go back to the bar.
Oh. Yeah, they go back to the bar, but it's the gang.
The gang. It's like, is it Danny DeVito because he's like tiny and can't see and kind of blind, or is it the dummy who is eating cereal?
A couple of parents in California are warning parents to check their child's drink if they order apple juice after they say their toddler was served wine instead of apple juice. They say the toddler, so I'm thinking, 2-3 years old? They said the toddler ended up getting very drunk. Here is the mom, Nomi Valencia, talking about how they knew their toddler was drunk.
She was swaying. She was falling over. She was leaning on the walls. She couldn't hold her head up. She was slurring her words.
That sounds like a drunk person.
She was trying to bum a cigarette for whoever she saw.
We had to stop her from texting her ex.
Yeah.
She was trying to drunk dial. That's very interesting.
We had to take her keys away.
A Let's see. A Russian tourist. I got to click on this because they have pictures.
Okay, what the hell is this?
A Russian tourist who allegedly tried to have sex with a cow was gored by the animal and had to be rescued by Thai police.
Well,
like in Thailand.
Well, that's not what the headline says, first of all.
What does the headline say? Russian tourist tried to rape a cow.
Oh, my God.
Well,
like the cow didn't want it.
Unconsensually, you know.
What?
A Russian tourist who allegedly tried to have sexual congress with a cow was gored by the animal.
No means no.
Evgeny Kushinov.
Moo means moo.
26-year-old is said to have stripped off and sidled over a... Oh, no. Now, this is really going to make it unacceptable in Florida. Over the male bull.
Oh, okay.
Now,
it wasn't a cow.
It was a bull.
Well, now that's kinky. We're not going to
hold on a second. Before turning his attention to a female tied to a wooden fence. You take a trip to Thailand, most people aren't thinking, I'm going to really have some sex with livestock.
Wait, turning attention to a female tied to a wooden...
a female cow.
Okay. Good, thank you.
Not a female human.
Okay, thank you.
I don't think. The vacationer allegedly tried to mount the cow only for her to react violently, pinning him to the ground and goring him. And somebody took a picture of it.
Oh, good for the cow.
Come on.
Somebody taught that cow self-defense.
Concerned locals who suspected the Russian tourist was up to no good had already called police when the goring took place. Try to poke me, I'll poke you.
Wait, the locals who suspect the Russian was up to no good, when they saw him prowling naked.
Shocking footage shows the Russian man lying on the ground without any clothes as the brown cow attacks him. Brown chicken, brown cow. I try to keep all of the crime stories kind of like in the United States because they seem to get really crazy.
This is
when
too
they come
funny,
out
though.
of, someplace like Thailand. Police and paramedics arrived at the scene and carried the Russian away on a stretcher. He was taken to the hospital to be treated for wounds on his bottom. What does Derek say?
Russian beef banger. That dude loves steak more than Buzz.
I don't like mine that rare. Maybe he was feeling horny. The officer in charge of the scene said the cow charged the suspect when he was trying to restrain the cow by holding its head, and he was lucky a rescue team showed up. Boy, the picture's he looks insane. The Russian guy.
Well, now you're just milking the story. Okay.
He was charged with a moving violation.
All right.
You know what? So stupid. I was thinking it in my head. I was about to say it earlier. I'm not going to say it. I chose not to do that one.
You have too much respect for yourself.
Yeah, to do the moving violation. I was like, nah, that one's not going to be funny.
Yeah, whatever.
Buzz does not care.
I don't care. We got one more story. Actually, a couple of quick hits. A 5-hour standoff with a Los Angeles SWAT team happened in downtown L.A., and it ended with a naked man holding a chihuahua being arrested by the SWAT team after a 5-hour.
Was he a Russian? And did he just get out of Thailand?
Had he just had a bad goring incident in Thailand? It doesn't say. Finally, a man and his wife were arrested after the man refused to leave a plane when he was ordered to do so by flight personnel. At the time, the man was bleeding from a hair transplant. And yes, the blood was the problem. The man and his wife were told to leave the airplane, but Eugenio Hernandez and his wife refused to do so. This was an American Airlines flight from Miami to Las Vegas. I guess.
Am I not allowed to bleed?
That's a biohazard, right? There was a story about them having
the picture is gnarly.
If you prick us, do I not bleed?
If you put tiny little doll hairs in my scalp,
do they not bleed?
Here is Eugenio, the man who was arrested, stating his side of the story.
She told me you don't go out, I go call the police. And I say call the police because that's an injustice. I'm paying my fly. I don't have nothing illegal in my packet. Everything is fine.
Well, I guess any kind of bodily fluid could be considered a biohazard.
Yes.
Remember, there was a story about a plane that had to reroute and do an emergency landing because of some kind of... And we couldn't figure out exactly what it was. It was either like diarrhea or vomiting that had caused a chain reaction, kind of like the pie eating scene in Stand By Me. That was a story a couple of weeks ago. I guess if he was is it really bad? The bleeding?
It looks terrible, yeah. Like his whole scalp is bleeding.
But he had a bandage on it.
Wait, is that him?
Yeah.
Yes.
That was a bad job, bro.
It looks like...
His brain is exposed.
Exactly,
oh, my
right?
God.
Like they just scalped him and his brain is like bleeding through.
Although he
Wear a
does
hat?
Or like bandages.
Aside from the blood, though, he has a nice high fade.
Oh, yeah, the pictures. You're right. That picture is insane. Anyway, he said he wasn't bothering anybody. He paid his ticket. He shouldn't have been kicked off the plane.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready to begin pre-boarding Flight 148. We'd like to welcome all first-class members, medallion members, and anybody with bloody heads. Also, anybody traveling with senior citizens with bloody heads, children with bloody heads, or who just need a little extra time getting onto the aircraft because your head is covered in blood, please line up at the gate. Any active military bloody head passengers, you're also welcome to line up in row A.
Over here?
Oh, no, ma'am, I'm sorry. Your entire torso is bloody. We're only welcoming passengers with bloody heads at this time. Bloody torsos are going to be zone B, followed by bloody legs. Again, we are now welcoming passengers with blood spewing out of their heads. Thank you.
I just want to say this guy looks younger than you. And apparently, Nico, he's 27. He's being proactive about the whole premature balding thing. At least he's doing something.
Bald is beautiful.
It is.
I can't. Can you imagine somebody getting out? It looks like out of a horror movie.
It does.
All right, that's our true crime report. Let's take a break. More of the Buzz Adams Morning Show is on the way right after this.
Hey, it's Double G. Coming up after the Buzz Adams Morning Show.
HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
Listen, what else you got to do in the morning?
Wake up, El Paso.
Good morning, show.
Buzz Adams is back.
95.5 KLAQ.
Nico says we should go ahead and take a couple of phone calls. We have got so many calls from the neckline. We have gotten to all of them.
Yes.
There's no way we can.
No.
I told Nico the idea of setting up this recorded line was the biggest fundamental change to the morning show. Mm-hmm. You know, we used to get a phone call or two per morning. With the neckline?
For live, you mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was the only way to call in.
Right.
This neckline thing.
Game
we
changer.
get hundreds of messages.
I don't know how
and we
you
try
guys
and pick
keep
out
up.
the best ones. Yeah, it's a continuous process.
We're not great.
Here's the telephone number to leave a message on the neckline, 844-805-NECK, 844-805-6325.
Real quick, I just wanted to go through some of our app chat messages.
Yes.
Thank you to Mrs. Adjective. I'm not sure if that's...
That's for you.
I don't know if it is or not.
It
but,
is.
Okay.
Isn't your Twitter handle...
Wait, you know who that is?
Well, I don't know them, but they frequently write in, and I've noticed they just changed their name in the app chat.
Your name is Nico Adjective on your socials?
On my socials, NICO. Please follow me, NICO, Adjective. Anyways, she says that raton is a mouse. Rata is a rat.
Yes, thank you to the 18 other people who told us the same thing.
Raton means mouse?
Un raton is a mouse, and a rata is a rat.
And she's the one that actually went rats.
Oh, whoa.
Mental Floss, I don't know if it's still a magazine, but it's a website for sure now. Just kind of like random information and infographics and stuff. And they have a really interesting one. for each state in the United States.
Okay, Joanna, get this. I saw this exact same article and this infographic, and I was going to make this art.
Was it in the...
No, I didn't see it in the prep.
In the prep?
Did you get this from the prep?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was in the prep today.
Yeah, no, I didn't see it in the prep. I saw it from something else.
Of course, prep happens before the show starts.
You're going to have to come up with new material. You know that, right?
Joanna liked it.
It's going to continue being funny.
Okay.
Because you're
As long as you continue to be
Yeah.
late, it's going to continue to be funny.
Okay. Anyways.
Let's tell them what it is. We haven't even said what it is.
I was going to make this
but
the
first-
after buzz.
Oh, okay. I see. It's because Nico finds these things, right? But then if they're not in the prep, Buzz will not accept it.
Yeah.
But it was in the prep
It
today,
gives
so
it a little
it's
extra.
happening.
It gives it a little extra
Because Buzz
gravitas.
says, we don't want to be too early with these things.
What is the most spoken language in your state behind English and Spanish? So English is number one in every state, and Spanish is number two.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to go to the third, and it's really interesting, and it's not what you would expect. For instance, Texas and Oklahoma, the third most common language spoken is Vietnamese.
Oh, interesting.
Right. It goes English, Spanish, Vietnamese.
Huh.
I had not observed that, but I don't get my nails done very often. German.
Buzz was like, is that racist or funny?
He asked me the same thing.
I was like, why can't they be both?
German is the third most common language in a lot of states.
Yeah.
Listen to this. Montana, North Dakota, Wyoming, Idaho, Nebraska, Colorado, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, West Virginia, Wisconsin, and Indiana, and Alabama all have German.
Who knew we had so many krauts?
They've been our allies for like 85 years.
Wait,
I think we get over...
they don't appreciate that
they
word?
don't like that.
Oh.
Don't do that.
I thought just by taking the sour out, you were making it better.
No, that is a slur.
Okay.
A few other interesting results. New Mexico and Arizona both have the same third most common language. It is Navajo.
You're Navajo.
It's good to know that they're still speaking Navajo in case we go to war with the Germans again. And then we can have the Navajo code talk.
Not again! Not again!
All right.
There are a number of states, I would say 7, 8 states, where French is the third most common language.
Ooh,
What do you associate French with?
Croissant.
Yeah, but what state?
Oh.
We just thinking food. I think food. Yeah, great food.
There's one city that has a thing
New
called
Orleans.
Mardi Gras,
Yeah.
Louisiana. French is the third
Nolens.
most spoken language. Also,
It's where Gambit comes from.
I can't do it.
Do it.
Do it, Joanna. You do the best Gambit impersonation.
You just let everybody know what happened here today.
Bravo. Maine, which is
close to French Canada.
French Canada. Vermont, same deal. Both of the Carolinas, French is the third most spoken language. I remember this. So the Acadians migrated from French Canada and went to Louisiana. That's why there's a lot of Cajuns.
The Acadians?
I believe they're called Acadians.
I thought Acadians were what The Rock was in The Scorpion King.
He was bad CGI is what The Rock was in The Scorpion King. That was like the worst CGI movie of all time. But on the way down, some of them stopped in the Carolinas and settled in that area. So you got also, looks like Maryland and District of Columbia all have French as the third most commonly spoken language. Arabic shows up. You've heard about Michigan, and Michigan has a big Arab-speaking population. Ohio also, and here's one I bet I'm flabbergasted by this. In Iowa, Arabic is the third most common spoken language.
Now, I have a challenge for you, Buzz.
Yeah.
Look at Nevada and Minnesota and tell me what those are.
Okay, so I'll start with Nevada. It is the only state where Tagalog is the third most common language?
Tagalog.
Somewhere in Asia, I guess. The Tagalonians. It's when you're going to the store and your little sister wants to go and she wants to Tagalog. I don't know.
I believe it is a Polynesian country.
And which is the other one you said? Pennsylvania?
No, Minnesota.
See, I'm surprised German is in third most in Pennsylvania because they have so many Amish.
And the Amish.
Yeah. You know, there must not be as many Amish as I thought there were.
Pennsylvania Dutch.
I worked a summer in Pennsylvania, like in Lancaster and York County and around that area, and you would see those buggies out there just like the Harrison Ford movie Witness. It was just like that. I never saw any Amish beat up a bunch of tourists, though, like Harrison Ford did.
I said Minnesota.
Come on. Okay, so I can't tell you what country that is, but in the movie Gran Torino with Clint Eastwood, he befriends a Hmong-speaking girl.
Oh, that's right. Oh, such a good movie.
They're an indigenous ethnic group in China and in Southeast Asia.
South Dakota. The third most common language spoken in South Dakota after English and Spanish is Dakota languages. So I guess like Native American languages.
Oh, cool.
Is there anything that seems to be missing here?
Oregon looks like it's the only one.
Russian.
Yeah.
Ooh, Russian.
Russian is the third most common language in Oregon. God, there are so many places I haven't been, man. If I'm ever going to do it,
You haven't been to Oregon?
Never been to Oregon. Never been to the Pacific Northwest.
Let's go.
Yes, I've always wanted to.
Yes.
San Francisco is the closest to the
Road
Pacific
trip.
Northwest I've ever gotten to.
Of course you would go there.
Georgia. Here's one we haven't mentioned. Georgia's third most common language is Korean.
But we're Vietnamese.
Texas is Vietnamese.
How many Vietnamese people are?
You know what I hear a lot
Awesome.
in Dallas?
Getting
And
this
that,
as
listen,
an article.
I just think of it as the amazing tapestry that makes up this great land. But a lot of Hindi or people who speak the language of India.
Hindi is the general one.
Yeah, but there's
language
more
of
than just one,
India.
though, right?
Well,
There's a huge population of Indians.
The language of India.
Well, whatever it is, I don't want to get it
He
wrong.
like stretched his arms out like all of India.
You know what I'm saying? But Vietnamese, Hawaii, Japanese.
Hawaii.
And there's one other state,
Alaska,
that has native language as the third most common, and that is Alaska. And I guess we can vouch for that after having watched Night Country, True Detective Night Country with Jodie Foster. Lot of native language going on apparently in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was super interesting.
Is there a large Vietnamese population here?
That's a good question.
Okay, what do you think the number
I
one?
was surprised by it. I can tell you that.
In El Paso, what do you think the number one language spoken is?
Spanish.
Spanish.
Okay, number two probably English.
And it's, it might be a toss-up
between
English and Spanish.
Okay.
It's probably a flip of the coin there. Real close, probably.
What do you think are the third most spoken languages here?
God.
Korean?
Yeah, Korean. I mean, you definitely get that feeling because there's a long, long history of Korean shopkeepers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially in downtown.
Yeah.
So that is one that I do hear quite a bit.
I'm just throwing it out. No.
Wouldn't it be great to just be able to speak 20 languages?
That'd be so
God,
cool.
if they came up with a computer chip to put in your brain that just makes it so you could, would that be awesome?
Were you going to say computer?
Computer. Yeah.
Like the
Those-
Spunkin Pice.
Yeah. Speaking of spunk and pice,
Yes.
I want to talk about this just for a second. And I am cognizant, Joanna, of what you said about
Time.
Yeah.
I'm going to teach you how to read a clock over there.
The Spunkin Pice latte, the pumpkin spice latte, is back at Starbucks starting today. The earliest it's ever returned. It's a full month before fall actually starts on September 22nd. We still got a month, a full month of summer. The Spunkin Pice latte returned on August 24th last year. The pumpkin spice latte turns 21 years old this year. It debuted at Starbucks in 2003.
When somebody made a deal with Beelzebub.
A big pumpkin. Everything else is a returning item, including 2 drinks from last year that you can order through the app: the iced caramel apple cream and iced honey apple almond milk flat white. Okay, this is just getting ridiculous.
Just a mouthful.
Just give me a
already.
coffee.
Give me this
There's a
pumpkin
rumor that has Starbucks fans excited. The rumor is that 2 more items are coming August 1st: a mummy cookie and an iced pecan crunch
Those are
latte
already out
drink.
then? You said August 1st.
October 1st. I should have said, if I misspoke, I meant October 1st.
A mummy cookie.
Somebody says the official language of El Paso is Spanglish.
Spanglish.
That's not too far from it.
Yeah, that's not too far. And yes, I know that the Philippines is where Tagalog is spoken.
I did not.
It's also spoken in other smaller islands.
Where
around
Nico also mentioned.
All right. Anyway, Spunkin Pice Latte. Let's make that an assignment. If you go to order it today, call it a Spunkin Pice and just see how they react.
And take a video for Buzz.
Yeah, take a video.
That
Send
would
it
be
to
fun.
me.
Can I take your order?
Yeah, I'd like 50 grams of sugar, 14 grams of fat, 50 grams of carbs, some caffeine, salt, diglycerides, and a little pumpkin puree, please.
1 pumpkin spice latte. Please pull forward.
I'm Daniel Paulus, and whether you're wrapping up your workday,
Power washing with monthly rates available. Mention this ad and receive 15% off. Visit sanitize915.com for more info.
Live from the KLAQ studios, the Buzz Adams Morning Show. Courtesy of Glasheen, Vyas, and Inderman Personal Injury Lawyers at GVILaw.com.
All right, we've got a few minutes to wrap up. I kind of want to circle back on the whole fan theory that the song Piano Man takes place in a gay bar, which Billy Joel himself has responded to.
let's be fair. It's probably played in many gay bars. The song is, at least.
It's probably played in all kinds of places. It's a great song.
Yeah.
The lyrics are just so
iconic.
great. But I had only found out that this was a fan theory today when I read the story about Billy Joel responding to
I didn't
it.
know.
It never crossed my mind, but I had always wondered what a real estate novelist is.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Which we got an answer for.
Did you? Okay, go to your Spotify and there's a picture of Billy Joel. I had no idea he was like a interesting looking man when he was younger. With he had hair, Joanna.
He had a lot. He had a lot of hair. I'll circle back around to this real quick, but we had corrections. Have you ever tried to use a word that you've only seen written down? You've never heard anyone pronounce it? You have.
Inui.
Yes.
Inui, right. Hey, the French have, Nico one time, just out of the blues, like, the French have a term, maybe you've heard of it, it's called Inui.
It's spelled ENNUI.
It's only.
Ennui.
The conversation about the third most spoken language in each of the 50 American states.
I think you're trying to pronounce Tagalog, which I think is the language of the Philippines. Not the way you said it. It's a common mistake. It's all right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Good morning.
No, when I get called out like this,
Tagalog.
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 I'd only seen it written down.
Yeah.
Tagalog. You don't know until you try it out. But when somebody calls me out like that on the air, I won't forget. Tagalog.
No, he'll correct us.
Yeah, now I will, starting today, if I hear anybody say it wrong, I will
And he
call them
will.
out on it.
He will.
As if I knew it all
the whole
along.
time.
Hey, thanks to the, well, first of all, good morning, Mo Show.
Hi.
My bad. But thanks to
Polite.
the current administration, we're not careful, in Colorado, the third spoken language, most spoken language will be Venezuelan. Later.
That's Spanish.
I know.
Colorado.
Dummy.
Colorado. Spanish is probably the number 2 or maybe even number 1 spoken. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking people in Colorado.
He was trying to make a dunk.
Right. That's kind of a self-own, I think is what the kids call it. So here's the lyric that apparently this has been a fan theory that's been circulating on the internet for a while. I had just never heard of it. The Billy Joel song Piano Man mentions all the customers. All the customers are guys.
I don't think I ever realized they were all guys until you pointed it out this morning.
Other than the waitress is studying politics, but she's not a customer.
Right.
She's staff. Here's specifically the line that they bring up. Not this line. Wait. Well, la-di-da-da.
A real estate novelist.
What is that?
Who never had time for a wife.
Oh,
and he's talking with David, who's still in the Navy.
Oh, there you go.
And probably will be for life.
Okay, so I've heard the song 1,000 times, probably.
I mean, he's talking to Davey,
who's still in the Navy.
I mean,
the theory is that
never had time for a wife.
And then John at the bar
is a friend of mine. Gets me my drinks for free. I guess there's always been some kind of stereotype about sailors being gay. I'm sure people in the Navy don't appreciate
You've never heard the old joke? It's like the Army has a yell that they do where they go, ooh-ah. Okay. And then the Marines have their own, which is like, hoorah. And then the Navy has their own, which goes, hey.
I think that is straight from Nico's stand-up set.
No, that's not. That's an old joke.
Oh, I thought I had heard you do that in your stand-up.
No.
Because it gets a big positive response in an army town like El Paso.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Oh, wait. So you have used it in your stand-up.
It's a stock joke.
Okay, so you use ripped-off jokes in your stand-up.
I may have used a stock joke once. Yeah.
Okay. There's also the fact that the regulars at the bar asked the piano player, Billy, man, what are you doing here? As if he's out of place because it's a gay bar and he's straight. Well, Billy Joel has heard of this take, and he says it's very funny. Billy Joel also says, I see how it could be taken that way. But as far as Paul not having a wife, Billy says his intention was he was too busy writing his novel. So the lyric is real estate novelist, and that's the big mystery to me. What is a real estate novelist? Is it somebody who writes novels about real estate, or is it a realtor who writes novels in their spare time?
It turns out it's that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the one. Also, somebody had a call kind of related to this. Another song theory.
Hey, good morning, morning show. I was just listening about reading into songs, and I have a little theory about Elvis Presley, which is nothing against him, but I think he was gay, kind of closet case. Reason being is in his song, he says, cutest jailbird I have ever seen.
No, you got the lyric wrong. You the cutest jailbird I ever did see.
If you're in jail, you're only seeing other guys. So.
Oh yeah, you're the cutest.
My little theory. Thanks.
Yeah, it's true.
You're the cutest jailbird I ever did see. I sure would be delighted with your company. Come on and do the jailhouse right. First of all, Elvis didn't write that song.
I don't think that's a co-ed jail.
Yeah.
And I guess that was a stereotype that prisoners were sexing up each other. It's amazing that it made it into a song in the 1950s, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm amazed that you know it, because I didn't think you were allowed to listen to Elvis in your city.
I'm familiar with the work of Elvis Aaron Presley. Don't you worry about that. Anyway, I told Joanna about this Piano Man gay bar theory.
Yes.
And I said, since Davey's in the Navy, we could write another lyric to that song that would that would go a long way toward promoting the gay bar Piano Man theory. So I did it.
Paul is a real estate novelist.
I don't know what that is.
Who never had time for a wife. And he's talking with David, who's still in the Navy and probably will be for life.
And here is the verse that I wrote this morning and added as a challenge.
And Davey is friends with a cowboy, a cop and a construction guy. And they asked me and an Indian chief if we wanted to hang at the YMCA.
Nice.
I got one more
Good.
gay verse. Okay.
Okay.
All right. All right, one more.
Now John at the bar is a friend of mine. He gives me my drinks for free.
Yeah, he does.
He sits with me on my piano bench and places his hand on my knee.
Billy Joel says, no, it's
All right.
All right, have a great one, everybody. We're going to have an AfterBuzz today, and we will be back tomorrow with more Lamb of God tickets to give away and a full action-packed day for Friday. So long. Have a great Thursday. We'll talk to you tomorrow starting at 6.
That's the show for today. The Buzz Adams Morning Show will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m.
See you tomorrow, okay? Okay, bye-bye.
In the meantime, you